Awesome. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad you guys have made it. We are now officially 8 hours deep on the 24-hour live. Today, we have my good friend Nick here. Nick has a company named Omi. Omi is a company that is going to be redefining how we interact in our lives and how we use AI to just make our lives significantly better. It's like I am feeling very bullish about Omi. I know I was a part of the company very early on. It was called Friend, and I helped assemble some pieces for it that were really, really awesome. And I'm very glad that you are here today, Nick. Can you give a little bit more of an introduction? That'd be awesome.
Sure. Folks, hi everyone. Meanwhile, I'm doing the intro. I'm very curious, where is everyone from? If everyone could just drop your city, country, please, would appreciate.
Sure.
I'm Nick. I'm from Russia. I'm a third-time founder. Built two companies before. One was in crypto. One was a freelance marketplace like Upwork. Sold it and been doing consumer hardware since the last year and a half, which is Omi. Put it in your neck, speak, transcribe, summarize conversations. We recently introduced another product, which is the smart glasses, which I'm going to show you in a second, if you would like. And yeah, that's pretty much it about me, I would say. And I live in San Francisco, as you are.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's the way it is. I mean, so I think one of the big things that I'm intrigued by your journey and everything is this whole idea of like recording everything, right? Because what does it currently do? Like, I see the pendant around your neck. Like, does it just record? Does it only pick up your voice, or does it pick up the voices around you? Like, what does it record?
Yeah, so it records absolutely everything, both me. This is my app, by the way, and you can see my introduction right here, which is like, I'm from Russia, blah, blah, blah. And it records real time, and then it creates these summaries of conversations. And then let's say I talk to someone about like recruitment, and I can see summary here. And then I can see my tasks. So if, let's say, I agree with someone to do something, I can see it as it is here. I can see my memories here as well, so things I need to remember. And there is like thousands of different apps built by our developers, which is like a lot. This is pretty much what it does right now.
Yeah, I love it. So like, what inspired you to build this project in particular? Because there's like a lot of different projects that you could potentially be working on. And what makes you bullish in particular on this idea?
Yeah, so where I come from, there is not much access to technology and like great people. I'm from an island in the Pacific Ocean near Japan. It's like, middle of nowhere.
Like Kamchatka, by that peninsula?
Yeah, nearby. But on an island. Kamchatka is not an island; it's a mainland, and I was from an island. So we don't really have like entrepreneurship there, or like great people, like especially like Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates and so on. And since I was 13, I was dreaming to like become like someone who is like doing great things, but it never had access to like any mentor of any kind. And I've been emailing nonstop like great people, like Bill Gates and stuff, and obviously they would never reply. And since 13, I was like, I had this idea in my head, like, damn, I want like my own personal mentor. I want someone who will like tell me like, where do I do wrong, what do I do right, and stuff like that. And I never was able to get it. So a couple of years ago, basically, I was like, I sold my company and I was doing what is next to do. And I was like, why don't I build my own mentor? Why don't I build my own Mark Zuckerberg on my neck, basically? And here we are. So, build the device, collects all the data, and, sends you proactive feedback, basically, pretty much it.
That's amazing. Like, I know I'm bullish on it. I want, because it's like, I don't know, like, I feel like there's so many moments in my life where I'm like, especially when I'm like, just like, like just talking with my friends and we say something hilarious. And then it's like, dude, that's like a good post. That's a good content, right? That's like and then I'm like, and then like, I think that because that's what, Gary Vee says that like the number one way, if you want to sustainably make content, is that it's documentation, not production, right? So it's more about like, you live an awesome life and you document it, right? And then versus if you have the other side of like, you're trying to create all this content. And I know for me, I do not follow that. I suffer because of it. I suffer because I feel like I still put too much effort and energy into like content production versus content documentation. And I think that's where you can get more value out of it, like with a tool like this and AI. AI is going to open up a lot of this. Like, I mean, I think that there's like, when I think about like what you're doing, I just feel like there is so much downstream of this, right? Did you ever see so there's this I read this interesting study about depression, right? And about how like depressed people actually use language differently, right? They say different words in a different pattern, where it's like one of the things that's interesting about this stuff is like, so if you have people who have like a history of like mental health problems, like if they have a pendant like this or they have a pendant like this, and like you could do it in a way that's privacy containing too, right? Because you just have the AI detect like, hey, like this person might be depressed right now, and then it has their support system reach out to them. Because sometimes when you're depressed, you don't even want to reach out, right? Because you have no energy. But if someone reaches out to you, you feel, seen and heard. And I think that there's like it's just very interesting of like, okay, if we have the data feed of all the words of our life, right? You can do all sorts of things with that. You could scrapbook, right? I don't know.
Yeah, you can detect if people are depressed. You can detect like if they're happy. You can detect if they're aggressive and like, give them feedback about that and stuff. You can do like so much with this tech. With just like voice, we as humans never were able to like extract data from our voices, right? There was never actually a tool for that. There were like these phone recorders basically, but, like you needed to click them, like to record the conversation like this, and then it's pretty much done. We never actually tried to like collect like all the words that we ever spoke basically and do something with them, because it was like too much context to analyze. And now we have AI, and AI within just like a click of a finger can analyze it all and give you, instead of like 100 pages of text, like 5 insights of how you should be living your life. Have you ever tried, in ChatGPT or something, ask it something like, hey, analyze all my previous conversations and give me like feedback. How should I like, behave differently or something like that? Have you tried like prompt engineering? Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely done some things where I'm like looking at all my chats. Like one of the things I had a very interesting conversation with ChatGPT a couple days ago, where I was like, based on my previous conversations, who are my best friends? Right. And then I even said like stack rank them. And I'm like, whoa, it's spooky. It's so good. It's so good, dude. There's a lot. There's so much is gonna happen like in the next in the next bit here on just like where all this goes, especially as the models get stronger and more connected with more data and everything going on with this stuff. It's just going to get like crazier and crazier. I feel like,
what is your, as a data expert, by the way, what is your like most controversial prediction for this kind of, like the world, this kind of data, like voice data, AI wearable devices?
Oh yeah. Like, most controversial. That's a good question. I mean, I feel like there's like, well, if you look at the space, like, I mean, I think that there's definitely, obviously, I don't know if it's necessarily controversial, but like, if you have, say you have that data feed, every word that you've ever spoken. One of the things that you could also do is you could create an AI girlfriend that would be your perfect fit. Right, it would be your perfect fit because it would have the data of every interaction, every trauma, every pain, every happy memory, every like it would be like it's a lot. Like I mean, and I think that there's a side of this that's going to be actually kind of damaging for society in some ways as well, because it's like, well, if AI is going to be there and be it's going to make it. I feel like it could be good and bad. I think in some ways it'll make us closer to each other because we'll be able to like use AI and quit making stupid decisions. But then also I think that some people are going to get lost in it. They're going to get lost in this idea of like, yo, I'm going to marry my AI girlfriend. Right. And it's like, okay, like, I mean, is that good for society though? Is like, I mean, because we need people, right? We need actual humans still, right? I mean, it's gonna get crazy though. It's gonna get really crazy, and I mean, a lot of the trends are already pointing towards that, because I think people are already kind of getting lost in their phones and getting lost in that space already in tech, right? And that's causing a lot of other issues. That's why birth rates are so low now, and it's like people are a majority of people are kind of like opting out of marriage altogether. And so I guess I have a very strong opinion that like that trend is not going away. That trend is, and AI is actually just going to make that trend worse, right? And it's a trend. It's a trend without AI, but it's just going to accelerate that trend. So
so you think there'll be more relationships with AI rather than with like real humans, basically, so right,
yeah,
or no?
definitely like
Damn, what are we doing about it? It's kind of like probably bad.
yeah.
It's so
Oh,
best population decline.
yeah, definitely. And like, I mean, I think that's why, Elon was saying that that's like, well, it's interesting because like when people like, when they say AI is an existential threat, right? Most people, when they hear that, they think AI is an existential threat because a supercomputer is going to exterminate all the humans, right? Or it's gonna kill us or something. Right? It's gonna like murder us, right? In some way. But like, they don't think about like AI being an existential threat because it pulls us so far apart that we just quit having kids, right? And that still is existential. That's still existential in its own way, right? And so like there's a like, I mean, I think that that's one of those things where people like don't recognize it's a kind of, we're already in it. We're already in that kind of mess right now. And it's going to be interesting to see how things evolve over the next, like 20 years to see
Couple years.
like what's going to happen. Right. Cause it's like, I mean, like if everything keeps trending the way it's going to trend, like, I don't think we're even going to hit 10 billion. Like, there was this prediction that we were going to hit 10 billion humans. Right. And like, if the trends keep going the way they are, like, I don't think that's going to happen because it's like, what South Korea right now is 0.6 kids per woman, right? Which is like, that's not enough.
It's decline.
Right?
Like, it's decline. But I'm wondering, I mean, let's get like the data real time, right? I'm curious from the chat. I'll be like completely honest about myself. I do sometimes treat ChatGPT as my own, as my friend. And I basically ask it questions, like that help me feel like less lonely, help me feel, like less bad and like, energize me. I also treat it as a mentor and a teacher sometimes, as a coach and stuff. I wonder, for people who are watching this right now, can you please comment if you actually also ever treated ChatGPT as your friend? Did you ask it for emotional support? Maybe did you ask it for, I don't know, maybe like some nice things to tell you, or you strictly treated it all the time as an AI? What do you folks think in the chat? Meanwhile, we'll be like continue. I'm very
right.
curious
Is
to
it
hear
like
your thoughts.
actually is it your friend? Is it your
Yeah,
ally? Is it your
yeah,
like what is your relationship with AI? I love that
yeah,
question. I love that because it's
yeah,
like you can view it in so many different lights, right? Is it just Google search, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right. And
yeah, yeah,
like I think that that's definitely one of those things where like how you have a relationship with it is it's going to be amazing. I mean,
yeah.
so like okay, so one of the other things that I wanted to talk with you about is you have a very, very good idea about everything's working right now. It's streaming everywhere. So like but like you had a very good idea with marketing, like with like content creators and influencers and kind of creating like this challenge, almost like this Mr. Beast sort of challenge. Can you go over what you are what you're planning to do over the next like month or 2 months?
Couple
Because
months,
it's like
couple
very,
months.
very, very interesting to me.
Yeah. Oh, folks, it's gonna be crazy. So, firstly, for more context, if you'd like to hear about this and like actually see the video, if you go to my profile, Nick Shevchenko, there is like a really amazing video that went like viral on LinkedIn. But to tell the story, basically, we are hosting an immigrant bootcamp where we are inviting basically like the most skilled people who were born outside of the United States. Basically, it's like a 2 months program where we pay them money, we like give them the office, we pay for their housing, we pay for their food, so literally everything. And we also pay like around like $7,000 per month or something like that. And people are just like, if the goal of people is just to show their best, just build cool stuff. So like build something cool, build apps, record videos of them. And at the end of the program, to 10 of 20 the best people, we are giving 1001 visas. The process there is like, it's like pretty complicated process. So we are screening for people who are actually exceptional, right? So like people who build something, who were like doing something cool before, and so on and so forth. This is just like a base requirement. And obviously during the program also, like you can ship multiple things. It's also considered a hackathon. You can like also go viral with that and also get like some attention and some publications and stuff. Anyways, we're selecting 10 people. We are paying for their visas. We have 3 law firms that we work with. We already made like 3 01 visas before, including me. And yeah, at the end of the program, we also give offers to people as well to join us full time if people will be interested. That's kind of the program, and it's happening in San Francisco. It's starting in like 8 days from now, and going to be very exciting. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, so, it's almost like the Mr. Beast freaking it's like a Beast Games content creation thing. It's like a mix of like, the thing I love about it is like it feels kind of like a hackathon, but it also feels like a game show. It also feels like, I mean, I really think that you're gonna find that that's gonna be like, you're gonna get a crazy ROI on it. I really do think that, like, and if not, you're gonna have at the bare minimum, you're going to have an amazing story, because it's like you can't create that much content over that period of time without having an amazing story. It's like literally not possible. So
true. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about it. Let's see what happens, and we'll just basically see. I'm very excited to do this.
So I guess another thing I'm curious about with your company that, like, I think is interesting is why hardware. I think one of the things that, like, a lot of people, like, in the space, right, they're like, dude, like, just build a chat GPT wrapper, dude. Like, I know it feels like AI, like most AI companies are just like a chat GPT wrapper, and that's literally all they are. And it's like, and like, I mean,
much easier.
And like, I'm curious what your thoughts are, because hardware is hard, right? I mean,
So, well, I completely agree with you, honestly. I was doing software before, and I never did hardware. I never even had like even a small experience with hardware. In fact, in my previous company, we had an employee who was a hardware founder who like raised tens of millions of dollars and stuff. And the only advice he pretty much gave me is, Nick, never do hardware. It's like insane. It's the most stupid thing you can do. And I was like, so, we sold that company, and I was like thinking, damn, like I'm kind of insane a little bit. Like that's kind of what I want to do.
You're like, wait a minute.
Started.
It's like right when he told me it was hard, that's when now I have to do
it. But there are honestly like two very simple reasons. I would say the first reason you mentioned is software right now. It's like it's already automated. You can like write software within like a click of a finger, just like by writing prompts. Everyone can do it. Like even me, I didn't have much experience writing software. I built like now apps in like a couple of days and shipped them very quickly. So there is no, like actual huge value to be brought there, especially if you didn't have experience in that before. Now this is the first part. And the second part is like, I really like to work on things like for myself, to be honest, right? Like I want to like, use things myself. I really don't like to build something for someone that, I cannot even use. I don't know. It's just like how I'm wired. And the only things that I'm really, really passionate about is mentorship. As I mentioned, right, I want my own mentor. And number two, I'm really obsessed with an idea of like recording your whole day, both from like your vision, from audio, from your voice, and from your brain as well. I'm like really, really obsessed with that idea. I want to be able to understand like what's happening like in my own head. I want to like, get alternative opinion about myself all the time. And the only way to do that, unfortunately, is through the hardware. You cannot do it on a software, as a mobile app. It's just very hard. Like, all the context, even right now, right? Like we are talking with our mouth, not with like, I don't know, like not texting or typing or anything like that. It's just impossible to track except this thing. So yeah, pretty much this is the reason. Two reasons, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, so how have you liked San Francisco? I guess that's another question. I think it's like it's an interesting space, right? Like it's like a pretty inspiring city. It's also kind of a crazy city, but like, what are your thoughts about San Francisco?
Yeah, I'll ask you the same question, but I mean, it's a good city. It has the best people in the world. I've dreamt to live here since like 13. There are some small disadvantages to that, right? Like, which is like homelessness problem and stuff like that. What else could be there? Yeah, I would say, like, is the smartest people with a small problem such as homelessness. So if, let's say, you're a lady watching this stream, like, it might be like a little bit complicated, and consider to move to San Francisco, it might be a little bit complicated because it's just like honestly scary, even for like, I don't know, like men, like, like huge men and stuff. But yeah, if you're like, if you have nothing to lose, if you're like in your 20s, it's like the best place to go directly.
Learn how to run, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. It's very interesting because it's like, I mean, so you know what's so crazy? Okay, so I've lived in San Francisco for like 8-9 years now, right? And like, you know, and I've mostly lived in like the sketchy parts of San Francisco, like Soma and Tenderloin, like in that area, like right in like the right where it's like the worst, right? And then I lived 1 year. I lived in Mission Bay, which is a really nice neighborhood in San Francisco, and so I have been assaulted by a homeless person before, right? But the only time I was assaulted was when I lived in Mission Bay. All right, and it was like in the nice neighborhood I got assaulted, and then like I've lived in the grungy, difficult neighborhood for a long time, and I've been fine, right? And I'm just like 7 years, totally fine, you know, and like. I mean, and like, yeah, it's definitely it's an interesting thing, but like I definitely think that it's worth it. It's worth the trade, right? To be around the smartest people in the world, to be around the people who are really kind of you know, building the most intense products and just trying to really like the dreamers, right? It's contagious. There's a part about like being here that's like super contagious because it's like I don't need, because for me it's like in my business, like I don't really need to live here, right? I could live anywhere. I could go live in Alaska or live, you know, like what now on an island in Russia, right? And I could still make the same money that I make now without all the expense. Right. But there's a side of it that like I love the energy here. I love like you never know who you're gonna meet here. You know that like
like we met with you a couple of days ago, right? I was just like
that was so random. That was the fact that I was just randomly eating lunch and now you're on this live right now is very random, right? I mean, yeah, it's beautiful, right? I mean,
so like, but I'm curious for you, Zach. Like, if not San Francisco, where would you live? Like, what is the second best place that you enjoy?
I need somewhere. I mean, so for me, it's like I grew up in Utah, so I grew up by the mountains. So I need somewhere mountainous. So like when the places I'm really, it's funny because like when I tell people about the places I'm attracted to, people are always like, Zach, like you're crazy. I really like I like Reno. I think would be sick. I like Reno. I also like Pacific Northwest. I think like Portland or Seattle, maybe. Seattle's very rainy. I like Portland a little bit better than Seattle. In particular, I actually like the other side. So Portland, on a little bit north of Portland is Vancouver, but it's Vancouver, Washington. Vancouver, Washington is really great. So when I think about like the places, the two cities that I have been really like eyeing and to buy a house are either Reno or Vancouver, Washington. Because I like Reno because it's like close to the burn and it's close to Burning Man and it's still close to here. It's still like you can come here in a day, right? And the taxes, right? So if you live in Nevada or you live in Washington State, right, income taxes is zero. It's zero. Whereas like the income tax here in California is 13%. It's the highest in the nation here, right? So it's like, maybe we should move to Nevada, right? It's like,
that's so crazy. I've never heard anyone not mentioning Los Angeles and New York, to be honest. It's so strange.
I mean, I don't. Okay, so I have let me explain my problems with both of those cities. All right, I have different problems with both of those cities. So New York. If you live in New York, you're essentially being like, okay, I don't give a single shit about nature, right? I don't care about hiking. I don't care about going to the beach because the beaches are awful in New York and the nature is awful in New York. And if you care even a tiny bit about either of those things, then New York is not for you, right? Then LA is different. The problem with LA is the traffic. It's mostly traffic in LA. It's like, and like, I don't like LA because it's like freaking, it's just too much traffic, too much pollution, too much, like, it's just a lot, right? And I think that's where I'm like, I would rather, that's why I like San Francisco in particular is because it's, the traffic is still a little bit better. And it's like the city is dirty. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of shit on the street, but the air is clean. All right, the air is clean. Like the actual air that you breathe in is clean, and I care a lot about like pollution in the air because I don't want to breathe in. I don't want to breathe in shit every day. And LA is not great for that. LA is actually pretty terrible for the like air quality. So like that's where I like Seattle. I think Seattle's clean. Like when I think about all the cities, I like Seattle a lot. But like I like Utah as well. I could see myself like going back to Utah as well, like as like maybe another option. But like, yeah, it's a mess. Like I think that's where I'm different, right? Because most people are like, I want to move to LA or New York, and I'm like, no, both those places are awful.
I see. Nice,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, I mean, so okay, so you raised a bunch of money, right? You are building hardware. Like, what does your team look like right now? Or like, what are your priorities right now? What are you trying to do?
Our team is pretty small. We are around maybe like 6 people, pretty much. And the only priority for us right now is to like move as fast as possible to build awesome hardware. So far, we've built like most of our devices in China, and it's like a little bit slow. So we are trying to speed it up right now by basically building factory in the United States, which actually I'm going to show you right now. So it's like real-time process happening on the back.
Bro, like so, you're like I'm gonna set up my factory in the most expensive real estate in the world.
Yes, exactly. But on another side, it allows to move like very fast. So you always understand what's happening. You always understand if something is moving. If something is not moving, you can just literally open the door and scream, like, like, let's get this done, like actually make actions. So that's our priority. Basically, ship hardware, ship the glasses, ship the devices as often as fast as possible, and start marketing, because we never actually did like any kind of marketing before. We never advertised with like influencers, anything like that. So we are just like about to start that. So if you're an influencer, by the way, hit me up.
Yeah, amazing. It's gonna be great. I really think like you know what I love about your product too is that like there's kind of like already something in the zeitgeist about how like Mark Zuckerberg is always listening to what you say, and Apple and Mark Zuckerberg and Alexa, they're already listening. And all we're doing now with and because I know that there's some people listening right now who look at your product and they're like, dude, that's creepy. Why are you listening? Why are you like recording everything that you say? And I'm like, Zuck's already doing it. Like, I mean, and it's like, and I feel like if we're gonna take our power back, right? We're gonna take the power back, and it's like we deserve that data too. I guess we deserve that data too, and like we might as well like be empowered with that data and like be able to use it for our goodness, right? And because it's like data's power, data's oil, right? Data is the future, and it's like especially like if we can get as much data about ourselves, we can go really, really far with that, because that's going to be the most important, valuable data that you can collect.
100%. I agree. I don't think there is anything more important than data. And I also believe that it should be as secure as possible, which is why like the way we are doing things, for example, is open source and transparency, because like you never know like what's happening with your data, who is using it for what and stuff, and we wanted to make it as transparent as possible. I agree with you 100% here.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Like I think that that's a really powerful way to go about doing things. And I mean, so how are you keeping your data secure? I mean, if you can say anything, I guess that's like one of the things. Yeah.
Sure. So firstly, first is first, everything we do is fully open source. So it's software, firmware, hardware, absolutely everything is transparent and like real time. Like everyone can just like go and look at it basically on GitHub and seeing like how does it work and stuff. If you're like not a developer, it might be a little bit complicated, but there is like thousands of developers who do that like every day in our Discord, like reviewing every line of code, like every change. Like, is there like something bad happened, or is everything okay and stuff like that? So it's pretty much that. With the community, with the open source, we're able to like show all the code, how it works. So it's like fully transparent. And there is like a small set of users who are like passionate enough to actually like go and like deep into it and like figure out that it actually is transparent. And there is also like two things, which is we are doing the like local storage soon. So basically right now you can sync your memories and conversations with the cloud, but we're also introducing everything locally, so you can store absolutely everything on your phone. And it just like if you let's say lose your phone, all your conversations will also get disappeared. It's not the best use case for people, but it's like the most secure, and some people would prefer
it's the most private. It's the most private.
Yeah. But it's not the best. Imagine like your phone, just something happens and you lose like 2 years of data. It's crazy.
I mean, that happened to me like literally a year ago. I was at EDC, the like the dance conference, right? and someone stole my phone, dude. And I was like, dude, this is so stupid. But like, then I got most of my stuff back in iCloud, right? Almost everything was backed up in iCloud. But I definitely had some like local things where I'm like, dude, like, that's just gone. That's just gone forever. It's just gone forever, right? I mean,
yeah, I agree, 100%. I agree. So yeah, that is 100% true.
So, how long have you been working on Omi now? Like a year, 2 years?
No, it's been a year, a little bit more than a year, basically. So like a year and a couple of months, pretty much. So yeah, now it's like our second year coming, and very excited about the future because like if let's say before we only did the necklaces and we didn't even ship our consumers, or we are only started shipping it now. There is also the smart glasses coming very soon as well, which you just saw like real time assembling them, by the way, on the back, and you know, in the next year after that, we are hoping to go like full in on the brain interfaces as well. So there's like lots of cool things coming. Very excited about them. Lots of cool hardware. Just like so much to do. It just needs to get done. But hoping we delivered something so far, and hopefully we'll deliver 10 times more in the future. So
yeah, I mean, that's gonna be great. Like, have you thought about like so right now, I guess like your business model is this mostly going to be selling the necklace, or is there also like a SaaS model on the other side, or?
Yeah, so we, and actually, this is gonna be like so controversial right now. We like this will get some views. So let's discuss it actually. So currently we only sell hardware. We do not charge any cost for subscription, something like that, anything like that. We pay for it basically as a company with our own money. So it's only hardware. So you pay, let's say like $80 per device, and everything is forever free for you. We are planning to introduce it sooner or later, obviously, because like we cannot like do it like forever. And the way we are going to introduce it is actually a little bit crazy. And I'm curious, what do you think about it? So look, obviously, like there will be like one default subscription plan where you can just, let's say, like pay, I don't know, like $20 per month, right? And use the service. But it's kind of a little bit boring. So what we are thinking is, since we are a fully transparent company, and there is also like quite a lot of people who, you know, let's say like don't want to pay $20 per month, or they don't even have $20 per month, right? In like other countries like United States, it's like $20 is like a lot of money. So what we're thinking is just like introduce a very crazy thing. There will basically be a switch. If you don't want to pay $20, you can just click on it, and it will be basically, I want like big companies use my data for advertising on me. So make my ads more personal, right? And you don't have to pay absolutely anything, but you just know upfront that your data is being used to advertise you better products. It's already how it's happening right now anyways with your phone, right? Like with your phone, like as we are speaking right now, our phone listening.
Dude,
and like
you get, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, because I guess it would be depending on like how much how much money you could get on that ad deal, right? It's like could you actually get paid, right? You know what I mean?
Actually, are there actually any companies that do that, you know, like collecting the data and allow users to sell it basically?
Right. That's like, because it's like we should be, it's like I should be paid to use Facebook, you know, like
I wonder why did it happen yet? It's so interesting actually. And you know, just like, okay, I'm giving you like my, like, I don't know, gigabytes of real-time conversations and like gigabytes of like my, I don't know, everything I see during the day, and you know, just like go, but like you know, pay me money for that basically. I mean, like I did some work, right? So give me money. I think it's interesting. So yeah, folks, what do you think in the chat? Do you think it's a good plan, good idea? Introduce, let's say, a plan where you can just, you know, like click a button and like, you know, your data will be sold, but you don't have to pay a subscription, or you pay $20 subscription fee, and everything happening is fully transparent. I'm very curious for your thoughts.
I mean, one of the I guess I have one thing that I think is a difficult problem there that like you could probably overcome, but it's just that okay, say I'm like talking with like my healthcare provider, and they're like, so what's your social security number? Right. And then I say that, and then Omi records that. And now my social security number is published to advertisers. Right. And obviously, like, that's where, like, I mean, I don't think that that's a problem. That's something that can't be overcome. I think that's like, you know, the whole idea of like, because you would need to scrub the data of PII. Right. And you need to be able to scrub the data to be able to like, so that you're not publishing like sensitive, gnarly information. Like, cause it's like when you just have like this free form data feed, it's like, you know, PII can just come out of nowhere. It can just be out of left field. It's like, boom, here it is, right? Boom, right? And then it's like, where's that coming from, you know? And like, definitely there's a lot that is like, I think the technical considerations there is actually really interesting. I just want to give an example just to help you maybe understand like how challenging this problem actually is. Because at Netflix, one of the things that they were working on was this project called Squirrels, which is essentially like, we want to make sure that credit card numbers don't leak into the data warehouse anywhere, right? So that credit card numbers are only in the secured like vault data set, right? And like, it was very interesting because it was like a 2.5-year project, and they were able to get rid of like 99%, but there was still like, it was one of those things that was like, you could only manage it. You could not eliminate it, right? And that's how PII works as well, right? Because it's like, you could have people that have a name. Like, for example, here's a good example. So there's women in the world named Autumn, right? Now, autumn is also a season, right? And then it's like, okay, if you have a conversation where you're talking with someone and like, you know, okay, because then that word autumn, is it PII or not, is contextual, right? And then it's like, and then like, and so, and then it gets blurry. It gets very blurry in this space, right? Of like, okay, how do you manage what is a sensitive data, what's not a sensitive data? So like, I would say that like, there's that side of it where like, I think that it's an interesting idea, and I think that like, that might be that problem that like that I just described. That might be the problem of why people don't do it. Right. Right. And that's why, because it's like, because especially now with like the new laws, like, you know, like GDPR and CCPA and all these like very intense kind of data privacy laws, like, I mean, but it's like, you should be able to opt in. Right. I don't know. It's like, can I just be like, I don't care? Like, and then there's like opt in, like check mark done. Right. But it's like, yeah, it's like, it's very interesting because I guess, you know, I guess there's one other law here that I think is a very interesting one is, you know, when you're out in public, right, you actually kind of give up your right to privacy, right? And you know that like if you're walking around in public, people can record you and that's fine. But like when you're in private, right, you actually have privacy. Like when you're in the privacy of your home. And that's where OMI is complicated a little bit because it's like, if I'm having a conversation with you and you're recording it, and then you're publishing my words to an advertiser, right, that I never consented to, right? What does that mean, right? Is that something that would be another kind of can of worms or another like gnarly lawsuit that could potentially come up from that? Of like, we're like, if your AI was good, if it was pretty good at distinguishing speakers, but then it comes back to like, AI will never be perfect, right? It will always be like a 99% thing where like there, and if you know, if 1% of the time it's like, but you only need one lawsuit that can really crush you, right? And so that's where like, I think that might be what it is, right? But like, I don't know, like that would be like, if I had to like give a gut of like what I was thinking about, that would be why I would say people are a little bit more nervous about.
I agree, but I'm curious, for your professional expert opinion actually here, talking about like how to use all the data and stuff. You know, on the marketplace, we have like a bunch of developers, like thousands of developers who are building for this device, like different use cases and stuff, right? And they're like constantly looking for ideas and so on. And out of all people that I know, like you probably have like more experience with data and like, you know, marketing and like all that stuff combined. I'm curious, like what kind of, you know, like use cases or what kind of, you know, like, value adds you see with, you know, like that can be done with such data in, maybe like half a year from now and stuff. Like, what do you think people should focus on? What do you think they should be exploring and stuff?
I mean, I think a very interesting problem is, you know, humans define themselves in a place of networks, right? They define themselves in a place of networks. It's like, we're very hierarchical in that way. We're kind of like baboons in that way, where like we do have like, we know who the boss is, and then we know who their boss is, and we know who their boss is. And so, but like one of the things that's very interesting about that is, if there's a way that you can kind of visualize your network and visualize the important topics and networks that are in your life, right? Which you can do. Like, it's like, and you could, I mean, nowadays it's so easy. It's so like, I did this 10 years ago, by the way. I did this 10 years ago for the US government, like back in 2015. And it was like where like we were processing like millions and millions of news articles every day. And we were trying to understand the information environment in like Iraq and like in the Middle East to understand like, okay, what are these publishers talking about? Are there any threats that we need to be aware of? And a lot of that was just processing very large amounts of text data to understand the relationship graph of everything. And so but what you could do is that you could do that on a smaller scale for an individual, right? And then it's like, hey, these are the topics that you are talking about the most. These are, and then you could almost be like, you could do like a, I don't know, when I think about it, like for my own self, if I was using this, it would be like, okay, I would want something that would process all my words and the words around me, the words that were also spoken around me, and understand like, okay, what are the most important topics that are being said in my life, and both topics and people and places and things, right, that are like being said in my, immediate surrounding, and how are those things connected contextually? Because you can connect them contextually with like how they show up in the words, right? And so like that would be the way that I would think about it. Like, and then you can build graphs and build connected networks that then you can visualize for people and show them like, this is your life, right? And like, it very much so, this is your life visualized based on the words that you say and listen to, right? And then then you could do other very interesting things with that, right? Because if you have that network and that constellation, then what you can do is you can be like, you can do things like sentiment, right? Maybe you look at sentiment and you're like, so your network and the words that you say are 30% more negative than the average user, right? And then you could be like, so it'd be like, maybe find new friends, or like, and then it could even recommend things like that. It could recommend different kind of pieces of the puzzle there, right? And I think that would be a very interesting way to like empirically see things, because sometimes people are like, why is this person so draining? I don't understand why this person's only so draining, right? But I mean,
is it like, something like this? Let's say there's like a graph, like of like all connections and stuff. Let's say everything you ever talked with, there is like, like there is like a note and stuff.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was curious. We actually do have like such an app in the marketplace. So I was just curious if we are going the right direction here.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm glad to hear it. Like, it's one of those things, like graph is complicated though, because one of the things that's very complicated about it is that like, it's very easy to build like a sexy data visualization, but having that data visualization guide action and having that data visualization actually change people's behavior, that's the hard part. That's the hard part, is building a UX in such a way where you are displaying a graph that actually changes people's behavior. Because obviously you can be like, oh, here are all the connections. Here are all the connections. But like, I mean, that's not like necessarily something that is going to actually change. It looks cool. It looks cool, but like it doesn't. And just because something looks cool doesn't mean that it's useful. Right. And that's definitely, I learned 100%. That like, I've done so many like graph things in my life and so many different like graph data problems in my life. And that's like the big learning I learned, is that like, it's not really about like, okay, can I get to a graph? It's, can I actually get a graph that will inspire people to do something? Right.
Can you actually give like a bunch of advice to people maybe here? And I'm also curious for myself. Like, how do you build something, that like processes? How do you make it like useful? How do you like select like something one and make it like actually like useful, instead of making something beautiful that is not useful? Like, what is the kind of like the use case that people should be focusing on, or what should they have in their heads, when they're, let's say, like, making such kind of an app, or let's say such kind of graph to actually bring value?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, well, like graph databases and graph data models in particular have this problem, because they kind of lie to you a little bit, because they say like, if you can just represent it as a network, that's the value, right? That's what that like graph database will. Go talk to Neo4j or Neptune or freaking any of these freaking companies, and they will all tell you that. And then it's like, okay, but what are the actions that you want to take? And so a lot of times what that would mean is you put it in the graph format, and then you analyze it and process the graph. Like I'll give an example. Like, so when I worked at Facebook, we built a graph database of, what it was we were trying to figure out like how many people used Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Messenger, right? But keeping in mind, people can have multiple accounts, right? And people can have like a Facebook account, a WhatsApp account, an Instagram account, and a Messenger account, but we want to count that as one person.
Yes.
Right. And so there's accounts, and then like the goal was to like go from accounts to people so that like we can count the actual number of people who use the app, deduplicate it, right? And so that is a great example of where like you were able to generate a graph that is in the right network, has the right network kind of protocols and how all these accounts are connected. And then you infer something on top of it, like you're like, okay, these 5 accounts are actually one person, and these 5 accounts are actually one person. And then that gives you the data that is interesting, and that gives you the data that inspires action or inspires change, right? So like it's like I think a lot of people they forget that last step of like, okay, you have a graph, but then like, can you make a recommendation on top of the graph? Can you do some sort of analytics or analysis on top of the graph that then can inspire people to nudge people in a certain direction or nudge people to take a certain action? Because otherwise, like, it's just going to look like a bunch of like circles and lines, right? And that's not going to be good. And so like, that's, I mean, it's complicated though, like, because if you're saying like more generally, like how do you design something with like the use case in mind, that's where like you need that's a lot of UX stuff, right? That's where you need to be talking with your users and talking with like who, like, what do they want and what they might find valuable. And there's a lot of like a feedback process there and a UX and feedback process that I think would be necessary in order to like actually like, you know, land the impact that you're looking for. But yeah, I mean, I really do think that like your idea here is really solid. It's very, I love that it's like a little controversial, a little bit like a little, a little bit like, oh yeah, we're just going to record everything that you say. And that's freaking
and
amazing.
See what happens.
Yeah, see what happens, right? I really think that that's going to be so freaking dope when that all kind of comes together. But I mean, so let's, I want to open it up to the chat here to ask Nick any questions because we have about 5 minutes here before we have to go to the next guy who I might want to intro you. Sajjad is next. Sajjad is a very interesting content creator. He's a beast. And so he's next. Nice. And then he will be, after him, I'll have gone for 10 hours, dude. Like this is freaking 9 right now, dude. I'm like, cause I started at freaking 9 a.m. So and like
That's
this
crazy.
is amazing. I'm excited. I'm really excited where like this is going. And I'm just pumped right now because like I thought I would be more dead right now. I honestly did. I thought I would be like so done with this, but I'm actually I feel like I will easily, I feel like I know for sure at 4 a.m. I am gonna be like tapping out and being like, please get me out of this chair. But like I as of right now, I am still a happy camper. So I mean,
how many coffees are you in so far?
I'm only, so I've had one. I've had one so far. Yeah,
crazy.
It was one. I had one at 12. I've had one Red Bull, one coffee and one Red Bull. Nothing too crazy. I mean, I know I'm gonna need to lean into it a little bit more, like as the night progresses, especially once I get to like the second half. But like it's gonna be great. So like,
that's
okay,
be crazy.
I got a question for you. I think that it will be interesting. Like, so when you are like looking for people, not necessarily these content creators, but say you have like the engineers on your team, what traits are you looking for when you hire? What are the types of people that you want on your team?
My rule of thumb is honestly stolen from Mark Zuckerberg, which is I want to hire people that I want to work for. So if you are joining Omi team and if you got like such a opportunity, basically it means that you are so great that like, you know, I want to work for you, basically. That's kind of like, you know, rule number one. And there are 2 criteria that we are mostly looking for in people. And the criteria are, first, the person should like grind basically and like hustle, obviously, right? So you just like always try to like do stuff and like overperform yourself, basically. This is like kind of like the first part. And the second, I would say, is honestly passion. So like, are you actually a passionate person? Do you have a passion for this type of product, for this type of technology and stuff, right? So you can be like a really hardcore, like hustler, but if you absolutely don't care about like technology that we are building, if you would rather, let's say, build a B2B SaaS, there is nothing we can do about it. Like, right? Like we cannot make someone to do it. And on the other side, we also, if let's say you're very passionate, right? And you're saying that you're passionate, but you never actually did something, you never actually like try to like bring value to the world, like there's nothing we can do about it as well, unfortunately, even though I know it sounds like too hardcore, but that's kind of it is. So these are two criteria we're looking for. Everything else I think can be changed and people can like, I don't know, like learn and stuff like that, but yeah, those are kind of two. And there are also hard skills. We're looking for hardware engineers, creators, and mobile engineers, people who build like apps with hundreds of thousands of users, or people who build hardware with like tens of thousands of units, or people who just like market it a lot, like made videos and stuff. So yeah, these three.
I love it. I love it, dude. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, Jenny has a great one here. Passion is greater than a lot of things, right? I mean, I love that. I love that. Like passion is greater than skills. It's greater than a lot of stuff, but like, thank you so much. Like,
I did see, sorry, one quick question there was from Jenny a while ago. We kind of missed it like half an hour ago. I wanted to answer it and I've been looking for it for a while, if you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely.
So she asked, like, could you tell us the biggest challenge in building and marketing only? In building, it's all only engineering. So it's like hardware. So like, how do we make it fast? Especially if you're an immigrant, US immigrant, you cannot leave US as me. I cannot leave United States for now, unfortunately. And I just like have to do everything here, even though like our production is in China. It's insane. In terms of marketing, honestly, there is no problem with marketing as long as you have a great product, which we kind of do. So we just like show to the world what we are building, to be honest. And what could you walk us through how you ideated this till the finished product right now? That's very long. But like in short, is the only thing is just make something that you want to use myself and try to use it today. If you cannot use it today, make something so that you can use it tomorrow. That's kind of the rule. I wake up every day and I'm like, okay, can I put this product on my CAD? No. Why? Like, what is the problem, basically? And I'm solving it today. Very simple. And And the last one is, did you think about how conversation would also include things said by other people around the person? Yes. So we have like this filter where you can like filter what you are speaking and what other people are speaking. And you can, let's say, like in the future, you'll also be able to filter that out. So you can record only yourself if people don't have, if you don't have people's permission. Right now it just records everything, but it still does the division of audio. So it divides mine into other people. But there is like no limiting, of like not getting other people's words, basically. So yeah, I hope I answered the questions here. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Nick. This was a really, really great time. I hope to see you on another stream here soon.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, we're going to be going with Sajad here in about 5 minutes, y'all. We're going to take a little bit short break, but yeah, have a good one, Nick.
All right.
All right. I will. All right, guys. I'm chilling here for just a second here. I need to like, we need to bust out the I think we need to bust out the push-ups here. That's what we need to do. Let's go. Okay. Let's or burpee, multiple burpee again. I feel like burpee's the play, right? Oh, I gotta like stretch it out. Okay. 9 hours deep, y'all. We're getting there. I'm excited to be like at halftime. Only like we have Sajad and then we have Elijah, and then we're gonna be moving. We're doing 1 hour not in this room. We're actually gonna be moving because 9 or 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock we have Adelia and Maddie, and we will be moving out of this room and we will be moving into the into my living room, where we will record that 1 hour. So because I won't have to look at a screen for that hour, which will be nice because my eyes are a little bit, even at this point at 9 hours deep, my eyes are a little bit on fire. Right. So we're good though. Gotta like, there we go. Whoa. Oh. My left side is so much less good. There we go. Oh, so good. Ugh. Ugh. We're getting there. We're getting there, y'all. Like, here, I'll be right back. Go to bed. You go. Go to bed. Go to bed. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. How's it going, everybody? Yeah, you guys ready for Sajad, dude? Sajad's gonna be great. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Freaking no. Go to bed. Go. Just do you, dog. Just chill. Yo, how's everyone doing? We're gonna be going here, having a good time. Lulu, you want to come here? You want to be a part of the live? Yes, you do. Come here, baby. Who's just a baby? Oh, all right. Let's see what everyone's up to. What? Huh? What? Just chill. You're doing so good. Puppy wants to go out. Yeah, Puppy's going out after this one. Lulu. Okay, go. Okay. So Sajad should be here in just a second. How's everyone doing? Y'all having a good time? We are 9 hours deep now. Oh yeah, I forgot to say the first letter of the discount code is F. So first letter of the discount code is F. I'll probably give you the first letter again because that stream was a little bit lower, but I have a feeling once Sajad gets in here that we will be bumping back up a little bit. It's 4 a.m. here. That's great. 4 a.m. is pretty hardcore. What's up, Sajad?
Hey Zach, how are you?
Doing great. Where are you at right now?
I'm currently in Seattle. Just wrapped up Microsoft build. Checked out my hotel, so I'm just in the lobby.
Didn't you like straight up like interview Satya Nadella?
Yeah, I did.
Like I'm like, I don't know. I saw a photo and I was like jealous. I mean, that's great. I mean, like, so how long were you in Seattle for?
I came in on Saturday, and I'm leaving tonight. So about 5 days. Been
5
a long
days.
trip.
Nice, man. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
That
are you at?
sounds freaking amazing. San Francisco, bro. In downtown. I've been
Yeah.
vibing here. I set up back up here. But I mean, okay. So people, I've been live for this is the 10th hour. All right. And we're getting there. All right. And so one of the things that people are talking a lot about here, and I think you have a lot of insight into, is there's kind of like two sides to this. There's like I want to talk with you, one, about being a creator and balancing that like kind of with your job, because I think you do a great job at that. You do a phenomenal job at that. And then I think the other thing that I think you also have some good insight into is kind of more of like, well, what is AI doing, right? And like, what is it? How is it changing the market? What is going on in terms of like where things are going, and like how is it going to change the market, especially for like more junior and mid level engineers, like. Because the last guy I don't know who, like literally I talked with Steve Puent, the a life engineered.
Yeah. I met him on
Yeah,
Saturday actually.
yeah. So he was just on literally like an hour before you, and
Right.
like we're talking with him because but he's like he has a different perspective because it's like he worked at Amazon for like 20 years almost, right? And so I mean, so anyways, I think the first question I would say is like, is AI something that engineers need to be concerned about?
Concerned? For sure. I think concerned and awareness, 100%. You need to be. Not that you're gonna straight up like overnight lose your job to AI, but over time, if you don't upskill, you definitely will. I mean, it's just phenomenal how crazy fast development can be if you properly use AI. From the setting up the environment to writing the code to testing the code to debugging the code, you can literally do things in minutes to hours what was previously done in days. And consistently over time, if you're still like if you're not accelerating, you're definitely going to like lose your job to the guys who can do them faster, right?
Yeah.
That's the only concern, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that that's like I don't know, when I think about it, right? I think a lot of people think like AI is just going to do all the engineering roles, but I think it comes back to like, it's like, nah, there's going to be like two dudes who are really good at it and they're doing the role, right? And like, I mean, kind of like the superhero kind of like, it's an engineer with AI that's going to replace you, not AI itself, I guess, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly. Like this is the topic I was actually talking to Satya about, the CEO of Microsoft, a couple days about. And he had mentioned to me that we're all going to sort of become designers. Like the software engineers are going to become designers. They're going to become product managers. They're going to be the ones who are like in charge of AI teams. And the AI is going to be like there and all that. And the software engineers are going to be the ones who are like telling what to do, checking over what's going on. So it's not like a concern of them replacing, but it's definitely a concern of like accelerating so you're up to that level.
Oh yeah. Right. I mean, that's such a good point. And like, I mean, what tools are you using right now? How are you using AI in like your day to day?
Yeah, I mean, there's the standard Copilot and ChatGPT for like the code helping out, like filling things out. I personally got acquainted with this tool called Warp.dev. And this one was actually a huge game changer for me. So, Terminal, right? And you know how for intro computer science students, it's one of the most confusing things because like, what does LS mean? What does CD mean? What do all these like random words put together mean? Like, why is it even called that way, right?
Yeah.
But Warp is a tool where you can it's terminal, but like in English, like it's integrated with Claude, it's integrated with all the LLMs that you need.
Right.
And so you're able to like set up your environments, no more NPM issues, no more yarn issues, and
Mhm.
create like end-to-end projects like super quickly. So that's one I've been personally using a lot. Uh,
Yeah. So I have another random question for you. Like,
what's up,
how does it feel to be a part of the Georgia Tech mafia? Like,
Georgia Tech Mafia? Can you explain that?
okay. So, there is a group of people that I think that you know that exists, but like that all graduated Georgia Tech around the same time, right around freaking COVID. All right.
Uh-huh.
And y'all freaking are wildly successful and are crushing it. Like
Thank you.
I know like five of you guys, and like literally it's like every time like I meet someone who's like a creator who's crushing it in tech, they went to Georgia Tech. Like it's very strange. It's like because it's like
Yeah.
what I know. Okay, so there's you. There's Backsate,
Yeah.
Backsate.
Carter. Yeah.
There's
Ben.
Ben
Yeah. Yeah.
Wolfson. Then there's do you know Jillica Kumar. She's
I
another
do.
yeah. She raised $5 million from Sam Altman, dude, and she's
Oh, sick.
26. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so also freaking Georgia Tech, right? And so I
Uh,
guess like what's in the water? What's in the water, bro?
yeah, it's Atlanta. I find it really funny. It's like none of us knew each other. We all graduated around the same time, started social
Mhm,
media relatively around the same time. Uh,
mhm.
that we had no interactions on campus.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was just a great experience. And I think Carter mentioned on one video, it's like Georgia Tech is a good education, but it also gives you a normal school vibe, right?
Yeah.
Like with all like the
It's not
campus
like
life going
like
on.
I went to Harvard.
Yeah, it's obviously not that level, but like you get a good education and a good life. So I think we end up relatively normal, and I guess that's how we're able to be successful in our careers as well as online social media.
Okay. So, you got a master's degree when you're 20 years old,
Right.
right? So, how did you do that?
Good question. So I graduated college, or sorry, I graduated high school in 2019.
Mhm.
And graduating high school, I had a lot of AP credits. I had a lot of dual enrollment credits. I had about 60 credits worth of exams that I had completed, which at Georgia Tech, 60 credits is effectively 2 years because you do 30 credits per year. And
Yeah.
so instead of the 4 year degree, I did 2 years. And
Mhm.
then so I graduated with my undergrad in computer science in May of 2021.
Mhm.
And in the last year of my undergrad, like my second year, I took a lot of elective courses at the master's level. So it would double count for my undergrad and master's. And
Mhm.
so by the time I started my master's, I had half of it already done, or like
Right.
40% already done. So I was able to do that within 1 year at the age of 20.
That's amazing, bro. That's freaking it's
Saves
stunning.
a lot of money. Saves a lot of money. Like it's not
Yeah.
something I like actively like say you must do or anything like that. Obviously not. But like if you're looking to save thousands of dollars, that's a path that
Well, yeah, well, if you're stacking it up like that, then you might as well. I mean, at that point too, it's like if you're freaking 19 and it's like might as well get a master's degree,
yeah.
like you're freaking a baby, right? I mean,
Plus, the master's was free for me because I was a teaching assistant at the time.
yeah.
So they gave me a tuition waiver and free rent. So it was awesome.
Dude, that's amazing. That's amazing. So like, okay, so you get this master's degree, and then you're like, what? You go? Didn't you I know some pieces of your story. Like at some point, you moved to San Francisco, and you hated
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah, I
hated
hated it. I hated it.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about San Francisco is so bad? Like,
So I lived, Nob Hill?
yeah, Nob
I
Hill's
lived
awful.
there.
Nob Hill's fucking awful. Yeah, like I
I
mean,
think that's definitely what influenced my decision a bit. But but yeah, I don't know. Like I was paying like right out of college, I was paying like $2,500 in rent for a studio, which albeit isn't terrible for San Francisco, but
yeah,
from where I come from, that was still like a
absurd.
lot,
Yeah,
a
that's a
big
lot.
jump, right?
Yeah.
Especially from Atlanta, right? And I was in an inferior housing situation, I felt, compared to my apartment in Atlanta that I lived in before. And I don't know, like everything was just inconvenient, like all the the hills that you have to climb.
Dude, the hills are my favorite part.
Oh, really?
I mean,
Yeah.
I love running up the hills and then being so exhausted at the top that I want to vomit. That's how I know I'm pushing myself. That's how I know I'm winning in life, Like,
you walk to the grocery store and it's like you're doing leg days.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Like, have you seen how swole Carter is? Like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was full before he got to SF. All right, let's be real.
That's true. Totally fair. Totally fair. Okay.
I mean, I absolutely I love the people there. I think the most ambitious people I have ever met. Like, if San Francisco wasn't designed, if San Francisco the city, like if you just took all the people and put them in New York, I would move to New York like in a jiffy, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like, I mean, it's just very mismanaged. I mean, I agree with that. I guess it's like, from my perspective, it's like, it's got. You know what's so weird is that, like, I guess like once you live there for so long, like you kind of like forget, and you kind of get to this point where you're like, oh yeah, because it's like, for me, it's like it's still bad right now, right? But it's so much better than it was in 2020 and 2021. All right, because it got really bad in those 2 years where it was like awful. And so like, I guess like it's all relative, because like, but if you come in and you fly in, you're like, whoa, this is a lot.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, nah, dude, it's better.
Yeah. And also, like, I witnessed crimes happening in my like for the first time ever. Like, I saw people like stealing from the store. I saw like police officers chasing people in the street, and I was like, where am I living? Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lawless, dude. It's lawless. It's like a weird. It's a very unhealthy city in that way. Like on average, right? Because it's like, I feel like that's the thing about San Francisco, though, is that like it's like that. But that's also part of the city, right? And that's the only way that it can exist, because what San Francisco actually is, it's the city of extremes. It's the city of like, literally, because it's like you can find all sorts of crazy different subcultures in San Francisco beyond just like the I want to build a bajillion trillion dollar startup, right? Because I know that that's the kind of the one that people is kind of a little bit more famous for. But then there's like all these other subcultures that are also very extreme, very crazy, right? I don't know if you've ever been to Burning Man, but Burning Man's also really intense. It's very different. It's not very techy, but it's also very crazy and very extreme in its own right. And then it's just like the homelessness is also extreme and the crime is extreme. It's just like the city has no chill. The city has no like balance, right? And it's kind of like that's the
it's extremes in every way.
That's the that's its character, right? That's the character of the city. It's very, I think it could do better. I think that there is definitely like a governance thing that could be better about it. But like, I mean, okay, so then like you've been at Splunk for a while, right? Like,
about 3 years coming in.
So what do you do at Splunk?
What do I do? I'm a full stack software engineer.
Nice. Is that like JavaScript, TypeScript, or like what is it?
Yeah, nice. JavaScript, and we're dabbling a little in TypeScript on the front end, and then Python back end.
Amazing, dude. That's great. I mean, that's funny. Like, me and you have like the same role right now. I'm also like, I mean, my my company. Like,
wait, what do you do?
I have a lot. So like, I do a mix, right? So it's like my role right now is like, depending on like how content heavy I am, like. Right now, we're moving a little bit more of the content heavy, because I'm doing a 24-hour live. But if you looked at me 2 weeks ago, you'd have been like, Zach's a full stack engineer, right? Because it's like, because a data expert, right, is, so I have a whole nother play. Like, so data expert is actually built. I don't use any like SaaS products for data expert besides like Stripe. I only use like the very base APIs. I don't use like, like Kajabi or Teachable or, any of those cop outs for the people who just want to teach a course. Right? No, I'm going to write all the code myself and suffer. And so, so Data Expert is on top of a platform I have called Tech Creator. Tech Creator is my long-term play, which now we have people on, which is great. We actually are people. The other creators on Tech Creator have made 100K now, which I'm like freaking so happy about. Wow. Right. And like, we're getting there. Right. And so like, it's essentially like, it's all like Teachable and Kajabi or like, but like, I think of it a little bit more like Maven. I know you've heard of Maven, like the cohort based learning platform. I feel like I'm like in a very similar spot as them. And so like the idea is like you can build a course, you can build a Discord community, you can build a like, you know, any sort of stuff like that. And then there's AI tooling on the back end. Like, you know, you can do automatic grading with AI. You have an automated teaching assistant with AI. So the goal is Tech Creator. It's like if you build a cohort on Tech Creator, you can essentially scale it to as many students as you want without having to hire anybody, right? So you can essentially run a 500 person cohort with no help.
Like so you're basically creating competitors to like Kajabi and
yeah, but like also not, it's like, it's because Kajabi is more like, okay, I'm going to build a course, right? And I'm going to sell it, right? Whereas like, this is like more like, I feel like I'm also trying to take on like college a little bit, like, cause it's like, I also want
boot camps.
Yeah, boot camps. It's gonna be more like a boot camp, like cohorts, right? But you can do either one, because obviously, like if it's content, okay, it's a video, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I mean, like, and that's the idea. And I mean, it's getting there. I mean, it's actually something that I'm really excited about, that I've actually been thinking about raising money for, because it's finally ready to like, where I'm like, I think I could like actually like scale it up and get like hire a team and build it out and make it really, really awesome. And like, yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. It's like, it's complicated, you know, when you're like taking people's money and raising and all that stuff. It makes things more complicated than when you have like full ownership. Because right now it still feels like it's like my like creator business, you know, it's like, but it really isn't. It really isn't. Because there's really like, there's like Tech Creator is a business and Exactly is a business. And right now they're all under the Exactly umbrella, but they shouldn't be. They're actually different. Like the money I make from YouTube is not really relevant to the Tech Creator platform. They're actually, they should be separate, you know, and like, I'm going to be making a new LLC at some point, but like, it's freaking, it's a mess. It's a mess, right?
Yeah. And so like, do you spend more time on content stuff or the Tech Creator stuff?
Definitely Tech Creator stuff right now for sure. Like I would say like cause like I have a small team. I have like a team of like 4 or 5 developers now. Like, and we're all kind of like ramping up and like doing this stuff. And like, I mostly do like these boot camps and content stuff to like fund that, to like essentially push all that money into the freaking development of that to see like where it goes. Even though sometimes it feels really risky, because I'm like, what if no one fucking uses it? And then I'm like, I just fucking take an L, right? It's like, you never know.
That's what business, right?
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
Did you create a waitlist or anything like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We have a, like, I mean, like there's like 300 or 400 creators have signed up for it, right? But I need to like do a little bit more onboarding and actually like reach out to those people now, because I think that like we're really close now, really close to like turning it on so that like it can just be like turnkey and people can just use it. Some of the design, I need a designer. Design is like, that's the part that like I can't, like, I don't know, I can't design myself. All right, like I can do literally every single other piece of the stack at any other moment: the sales, the marketing, the full stack engineering, the database, the data pipeline, the analytics. But right when you're like, Zach, what CSS class should this be? I'm like, nope, that's not me.
Yeah. Good design is so underrated. And especially like being able to communicate your design vision and someone getting it is so hard to do.
Yeah,
you know?
It's so hard. And I mean, like, yeah, it's crazy, man. Like trying to like figure out like what is the right way to build your businesses. And like, so like one of the things that I find very impressive with you is like, so you're working at Splunk, but you have like a massive Instagram following, massive TikTok following. YouTube is blowing up too now, right? And LinkedIn. I would imagine by like maybe even the end of this year, you'll have 100K on 4, right? What, LinkedIn,
hopefully.
LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, like 100K.
YouTube's pretty close.
Yeah,
like
right.
95.
Yeah, and so like what I'm saying is that like freaking like that's amazing. That's amazing stuff, right? Like, have you like, how do you manage that? How do you like manage that and then still show up and obviously like get like because it seems like even at Splunk, like, I mean, just looking at your LinkedIn, like it's not like you're working at Splunk in a way where like you're getting promoted. I mean, like you're a senior engineer at Splunk as well, so it's
mid-level.
I see 3. I see software engineer 3.
3 is mid-level. 4 is senior.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay. But you got promoted. All right, you got promoted.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, I can't say it's easy, right? It's definitely like I would always say it's a work in progress. There are things that I figured out, but I always try to start off my day with doing something content related, because I think my mind just goes in that way. It's like a quick thing that I can do, like a quick Instagram reel, and then I feel fulfilled. And it's almost like that momentum snowball effect where I'm able to like get my work tasks done pretty quickly. And I think just over time, you learn like tips and tricks to make yourself a more efficient software engineer, obviously. And another thing that I started doing is with everything that goes on, especially like as you keep growing, like brand deals come up, like trips come up, or content collaborations, or like things like like collaborations like this come up, right?
Yeah.
So I started asking ChatGPT as like my little assistant. It helps me like create a schedule. I say like I got to do this today, this today, this today. I need about an hour for this, 2 hours for this, and all that. And based off of like what my optimal time frame is, like I generally like doing content in the morning, work stuff in the afternoon. It like schedules it accordingly, right? I also got to say I'm very blessed to be in a remote position, and I don't have to be like on it like 9 to 5. I can like take breaks here and there, and like obviously like optimize my schedule for that. So yeah, it's but yeah, when I travel, especially across time zones like I am today, sometimes it gets a little tough.
Oh yeah, travel is freaking crazy. I mean, like that was definitely something that was difficult for me. Like I did an analytics engineering boot camp in April, and like I was in,
India, right?
I delivered the first week in Thailand, right? And then I flew across the world and I delivered the second week in San Francisco. And I was like, and the thing that was rough about it though is that I felt like I delivered both weeks kind of like they were like 80% what I could have delivered, right? And I'm just like, damn it, like, okay. And I'm like, because you have to give up something. It's very hard to like deliver at the same exact level that you would normally deliver at when you're traveling. It's so hard. Like that's one of the things that makes me kind of cautious about traveling too much, because I'm like, dude, like I don't know if I can even, I want to make sure I'm delivering at my absolute peak capabilities, because that's what people expect from me. So I mean.
Yeah, that's actually what's been happening here at Seattle, funny enough. So I came in on Saturday, and the following day I did interviews with Sundus, I did interviews with Pooja, with Delia, and on top of that I had interviews with Satya and like a couple other like VPs at Microsoft and other people as well. And so like what would make a really good video is like when I like plan it very well and like have everything perfect to a T, but like with so many variables going on, it was just I felt like I gave like a 75% of what I could have given to an interview if I like I don't know, just dedicate more time to it. But you got to give something up, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a side of it that's like, but I think there's a side of this that's very interesting that I think is something that I want the audience here to not take away from this, is the idea of like, if you feel like you have to always show up as your perfect self when you're making content, you're going to fail. You're going to fail, because it's like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. There's this whole notion of like good enough, right? Good enough is like another thing that's like, and like you have to be okay with that, because it's like if you're not okay with that, then your production schedule is going to be delayed, and then you're just your perfectionism is going to kneecap your growth, because like you're not going to be putting out enough content, right? And I mean like what? Okay, so I know that there's definitely people on here who want to grow on LinkedIn, and we've already, I've been talking about LinkedIn growth quite a bit over the last 9 hours. But I think I think what I would want to hear from you more is like, what do you think is the things that are important for growing on Instagram, like on Instagram specifically, like because you've been crushing it there.
Thank you. So first thing, on that point where it's like, don't let your perfectionism get in your way. In fact, like I know, especially on Instagram, some people, they have like 4K cameras and like a really nice mic, and I actually started my content like that. But one of my most viral videos is literally like me on my phone yapping to my phone without a mic, without any professional camera. So like, don't think you need a perfectionist setup or anything like that. The idea is the king at the end of the day. So just like do the best that you can. And to really hone in on your point about like, how do you grow on Instagram? So I'll talk a little about my journey in case anyone doesn't know. So I started posting on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts June of 2023, so almost 2 years ago. And I made about 200 videos on those platforms, and I was averaging between 200 to 300 views after 200 videos. And
why? Like, I mean, you're built different, bro. You're built different. I would have given up.
Yeah, I was posting 1 to 4 videos every single day. And the thing is, like, I had a core belief that there was just something I was missing, and I would be able to figure it out. Like there was just like some factor that I had to go right. And then my 201st video, it was either my 200th or 201st video. I posted it and it got like 3 million views on Instagram and 1.5 million views on TikTok. And I got like around 10,000 followers on both platforms.
Yeah.
And so, first of all, before like trying to optimize any factors, just post a lot. You'll see what works, what doesn't work, what marginally is better. And in fact, it's the same advice Mr. Beast gives. He's like, post 30 videos, find out which ones work, which ones flop. If there are a couple of them that outperform your average, hone in on those, do 30 more of those, and just keep iterating and optimizing. And even to this day, despite the fact that I have like hundreds of thousands of followers, I'm still learning. I'm still figuring things out and optimizing things as I continue to grow, you know?
Well, and the algorithm changes. It's like goes in flux and all this shit,
true.
right?
Yeah.
For sure. Like, I mean, it seems like as long as you're like consistently delivering like high quality content, that's like what really matters at the end of the day. Do you have like a team or an editor or like what do you, is there anything on the other side there for you when you're building your content?
So on Instagram and TikTok, no, not for short form, but for long form for YouTube, I have a guy. He is kind of like a manager of like editors under him, designers under him. So it's like a YouTube team, but I only talk to one guy. And then I have people to help me out with LinkedIn. So like I come up with like the ideas. They help me kind of change my words to sound a little better, like to hook people in and all that. It's just graphics as well. Yeah. And then I have a brand manager for sponsorships.
Amazing. I need to get one of those, dude. I've literally never done any sponsored content. And I'm like, I have 1.4 million followers and I've never even done a single sponsored post, dude. Like, but it's fine because I make millions of dollars. So it doesn't matter. But at the same time, it matters because I know it's money that I'm leaving on the table.
I mean, the nice thing about you is because you aren't so dependent on the money, you can just choose to take the high ticket offer, right?
Oh yeah, and I mean, I did that where it was interesting. Like, I have a very interesting story for y'all. So like, back in November, I had 40 videos on YouTube all lined up, and I was like, I will only release these once I find a sponsor, right? I will only release them once I find a sponsor, and then freaking, I was talking with Snowflake, and I was like, guys, I'm down for you guys to sponsor, but it's gonna be at least 100K. I need 100K. All right. It's 40 videos. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's actually probably, it's probably less. That's probably, not even. And then like, it was so interesting because then they were like, now the best we can do is 25K. And I'm like, and then they're like, best thing we can do is 25K. And then we got to see the metrics. And I'm like, I'm not going to put you on the launch video for 25K. Sorry, not going to happen. And so, and then anyways, I ultimately just, what I did instead there was I didn't take a sponsor, and I had data expert sponsor it. So at the beginning of the video, I essentially was like, here's my bootcamp video. If you want to learn more about how to do this actually in the cloud, come join the Data Expert Academy. And then that,
you probably got a lot.
That made me like $250,000, right? Okay. Because it's like, because all the people, and then the recurring money too. It's like, it's like $250,000 and it's been like 50K like recurring revenue, right, as well. And it's like, so part of me is like, I'm kind of happy that like I didn't take the quick money from the brand there, because I'm taking more of the slow money from converting people over time, because now I'm the one who gets the long-term value from the endorsement, right? So it's like, it's very interesting because I feel like I could do both though. I honestly feel like I could do both, like especially LinkedIn, because I feel like LinkedIn, it's freaking like, dude, I'll throw up a LinkedIn post that's a sponsored post, dude. I don't give a shit. Like, but YouTube, I feel more neutral about. Even though I know YouTube's where I can get paid better, because I know with YouTube, I'm like, but then that sponsor is there forever. Because with LinkedIn, it's just dead in 2 days, right? It's just dead.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I mean, but I've heard people who have started their business and like been successful, like maybe not to your scale, but like been pretty successful, and then they just stopped taking sponsors entirely because anytime they do a sponsor is an opportunity where they could just advertise their business, right?
Yep. And that's the trade. I mean, there's definitely a trade there where it's like, it all depends on like how much, but what I'm saying is that like, but I could just do 2 posts a day and then advertise my business, take the sponsor. I feel like I cannot, I can't advertise my business twice a day, right? My audience will be exhausted. Right. Yeah. And so like, there's like I don't know, maybe I'm being greedy though.
Yeah. I mean, go for it. Maximize the dollar.
I mean, okay. So big thing here is like make a lot of content, understand, like, I mean, I'm impressed that like you did 200 pieces of content at like 200 views, dude. That's like, that's a grind. I'm happy that like I had a very similar thing though on Instagram where I did a very similar thing where it was like, and it's still the case for me because I have like 160,000 on Instagram, right? But 110,000 of the 160,000 came from one video.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
okay,
progression, like, right? Freaking so weird, so asymmetric. So like, I think that's one of the things that I don't like about content creation is that it's like very like you just grind and grind and grind and grind and grind, and then something hits, and then like you grind and grind and grind and grind and grind, and then something hits, right? And it's like,
it's like a hamster wheel, right?
Yeah, right. I'm like, bro, like, why does it have to be such a like an addictive like dopamine factory, you know? Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, when you said the whole like 200 view thing, right? For me, it's always the reason I started was to help people. So even if it does hit 200 views, if even one person from that 200 views, right? Like I made a video, let's say I made a video giving resume tips, and one person took something out of that and like changed their resume, and all of a sudden they're able to land an interview, and all of a sudden they're able to get a job and feed their family. Like that 200 view, which seems as a failure to some people, was actually a massive success, right?
Well, and it's like, and it comes back to like, like I love the whole thing of like whenever like when you're looking at like impressions and everything, and it's like, if you had 200 people like come into your apartment and watch the video on your phone, you would be overwhelmed. It would be a lot. It would be too much. And it's like, but then like you get so accustomed to being like, nah, it needs to be 1 million. And it's like, but like 200 is still a lot, dude. It's still a lot. And I'm with you on that. It's all about like, outcome, right? It's all about like, okay, if one person has freaking found that useful, because it's like, I really think that that's one of the things that people need to remember if you want to make it as a creator is like, you have to be very attached to your why. Because if you're not attached to your why, what's going to happen is you're going to fall into vanity metrics. You're going to fall into haters. Like haters are going to discourage you. You're going to fall into like all sorts of different traps, right? And it's like, if you're not connected to your why pretty deeply, you will give up. You will give up. Like, and so like, that's where really understanding like, okay, why am I actually doing this? And I love your take there about like, this is about like, even if I help one person, that's good enough, like,
yeah, absolutely. And also learning to separate the way that you look at it from a business to a personal, right? Like as a business, right? If you're like working so hard and only getting 200, 300 views, maybe you're like, let's look at the share rate. Let's look at the like rate, and let's see how it can improve that. But on a personal basis, you're still successful for just helping people, right? Like, so separating the two is very important.
And also just remembering like, okay, like 1% of people on social media create content. So it's like at the end of the day, even like once you hit publish, you're already in the 1%. You're already successful just by hitting post. Like you're already doing better than 99% of people. And it's like, it's so weird how like, I don't know. It's something that like I find so strange about society is that like, I guess for my own self, I'm like, I can't. I'm like, there's no way I can just like passively consume all of this. Right. And then not want to add. Now I have so much to say. I know I on my LinkedIn, it says I'm fluent in Japanese, right? Because I mean, it's literally there, there. It's one of those Easter eggs, right? 100%. Like, and so because I have to talk. It's both my like strength and my toxic trait. I feel it's both, Like,
like that.
So, okay. So Splunk is treating you well. You like Splunk. All right.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to do? What are your dreams, man? What I'm curious.
Yeah, so I would say like what I'm doing right now is I'm traveling a lot and meeting a lot of new and interesting people. And every time I talk to someone, it gives me like a unique perspective on things. Like I've traveled over the last couple of months, i.e. April and May, all across America. I'd say like Atlanta, Miami. I went to Chicago for a bit. I went to Orlando, Toronto, and here I'm in Seattle. And they've all been for like various conferences or content making opportunities. And it's just crazy to see. Like, for example, I met one guy who quit his software engineering job and kind of created like a bootcamp cohort thing, kind of like you, right? And like last month, he brought in $80,000. And that's like, and he quit his job, I think, just about a year ago, which is phenomenal, right?
Yep.
And that was just one thing. And I met like other people who are, and I just feel like I'm learning more about tech as well. If you're asking me like, what's your business plan or anything like that, I can say like, I would love to create a startup. I'd love to create an app or something like that, right?
No,
But
I'd invest. I have that, the Fry, like, shut up and take my money. Like, just take it. Just take it.
Yeah. But I can't say like I have something concrete unlocked yet, but I'm cool with that. Like I think I'm learning a lot, and I do obviously.
And you're just low key interviewing Satya Nadella. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Like, it's crazy. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it for you, man. Like, and I think that that's like a beautiful part of the journey, right? Is that like, I mean, because one of the things that I think is important to remember with all this stuff is that like freaking like also like life's really good, man. It's like when you do a startup, it's like a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot to think about. There's a lot, like, especially when you have to like make money to pay people and all this shit. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And so like there's a side of like what the way that you're doing things right now that I actually really respect is this whole idea of like approach things with curiosity. Don't force anything. The abundance is gonna come. Everything's gonna happen the way you want it to. Right. And that like it's working out. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
and actually, something you
were vibing with Satya, right? I mean,
yeah. And something that you told me is it doesn't matter if you, or for example, like your thing is like you created so much content before you made a first sale, right? And you grew, right? You talked about social capital, right? You grew that a lot, and you told me that like every time you make a post, you're basically like investing in your own equity, right? And growing that bigger and bigger, and then one day like you'll be able to eat, but it doesn't have to be today.
Yeah. And that's fine. And it's like, and I think that's one of the things that people don't realize about social media, right? Is the way I think about it, and for people listening is that like, if you're making content, so think about it this way. If you gain 10 followers from a piece of content, you can think of that as like, you just made $1 per month, essentially, right? At some point, maybe not right now, but at some point in the future, you made $1 per month, like if you gain 10 followers, right? I'm not saying that's because of sponsorships or brand deals or whatever, but it's like at the end of the day, that's what you can definitely monetize at least at that level. Like for me, my monetization is getting to a point where it's actually getting kind of crazy, where it's like I'm getting close to about 30 cents per follower per month, which is closer to like what I'm doing. And so, but like 10 cents is like really straightforward, really not that hard to do. So, like definitely, but you're totally right that like you are investing in like eyeballs. It's the attention economy, the whole idea of like, yo, like I am building a brand. People are aware that I exist. People being aware of your existence is so powerful. You don't even like it's crazy. It's crazy. Have you been recognized on the street yet? Have people been like, oh, are you Sajad? Like, has that happened?
Yeah, it's actually
good.
Quite
Excellent.
a bit.
Yeah. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Like,
yeah. And very like I've also been invited to universities to speak, and I love what you said. It's like 10 followers, you'll make $1 per month somewhere in the future. Like in my own experience, right? Like I have hundreds of thousands of followers now, but like when I first started, right, I didn't think this one post is gonna eventually get me into a conference in which I'd be able to interview the CEO of Microsoft or be invited to this university or this university. It's just over time, because of the vested equity that you have, or whatever you say, you become that much more valuable, right?
And it's just compound interest. It's just like, because it's like at the end of the day, like one of the things that I love about content as well, that like I hope people understand, is the bar is on the floor. All right. Because it's like if you can make 100 pieces of content in 100 days, you're already ahead of like 99% of creators, right? Because the thing is people just can't show up consistently. They can't do it. And that's like, and it's like, if you can just do that, treat it like the gym, treat it like, hey, I need to go and spend 15, 20 minutes a day making my piece of content, like, and just do that every day and just keep doing it. Like, and it's like, you'll get there. Honestly, freaking, I firmly believe that that's actually like pretty much for anybody. they'll get there.
Yeah,
it's just like,
exactly.
because that's the trait. It's that tenacity. But it's, the thing is like most people don't do it because it's like they can't, like, or they don't have that, like
they can't handle
they don't have that dog in them, you know? Like,
yeah.
like,
yeah, delayed gratification, right?
Yeah, right. Of just like keep building and keep growing and like trying to and getting through it, of like, yo, like this might not pay off right immediately, but it will pay off at some point in the future. And I mean,
Yeah.
like okay, so like okay, I think one of the things that people are interested in here as well is like, okay, so in the AI space, right? So you're saying you're using Copilot for like improving your speed. What do you think about like AI engineering? What about like that space, like building actual like AI apps? Like, do you think that that's like a good space to be in? Like, or like what do you have any recommendations in that space?
For sure. I don't like. Are you asking like recommendations of things that people should build, or
Whatever.
I
It's
mean,
all. I'm trusting you. You're a smart man.
this is what I would say. I think uh, AI is used very much as a marketing term nowadays. Of I mean, you live in San Francisco. You know how everyone has an AI startup. Everyone has a AI app, right? That they're trying to put out into the world, even though it may not even really use that much AI. I would say just use AI to solve problems. I think that's what it comes down to. The core solving problems and finding a need and creating that. And it could be as simple as like helping a local mom and pop store. It could be as simple as helping students like learn a small little task. It could be so simple. And I would say just like solve that problem and use AI to accelerate it, not like per se like creating something just for the sake of something, you know. Although like people are making millions of dollars even doing that, but I would say long-term plan would be just like solving the problem there.
That's what I was doing, right? That's why I added the AI grader, because I was like, I'm running cohorts. I hate grading. I hate hiring people to grade. It's a stupid problem. AI is a great solution. Slam dunk, boom, done. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, and if you can, that's where I think that's like where, like, if you have AI skills and then you also are business aware, you have the double whammy there. That's where you really can kind of like start to like really make a big impact, because then you're really aware of like everything that's going on. Like, and that like that's like the future in a lot of ways. Like,
and
it's just
the
like
the barrier to entry is so low. Right?
It's so low. It's like, can you import OpenAI? Like, it's like, do you know pip install? Like, like it's like it's one of those things where, you know, I spent 7 years in big tech working in like, you know, all these like different sort of like models of like, you know, like classification models and different like, you know, just different machine learning models across the board. And like, we just grinded so much. And it was like, this is like, these kids nowadays don't realize how much work machine learning used to be. Now it's just like import OpenAI and you're done. Like, it's like, it's too easy. It's too easy. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like definitely one of those things that like is kind of shifting into like a space that like is gonna be great, though. I honestly feel like it's gonna be great because like it's gonna make it's leveling the playing field as well, because I think that's actually something that big tech's a little bit scared about, is like, okay, if everyone has this model, and it's like nowadays it's like you don't need a data scientist, a data engineer, a software engineer, and a data analyst to freaking make a machine learning model work. And then even if you have those 4 people, there's an 80% chance it will fail. All right. And now it's like, oh no, it's just like import OpenAI. Will it fail? Will it not fail? Like, oh, but you can determine the cost of failure has dropped like maybe even 100-fold, not even 10-fold, but like 100-fold. And like, and so like, and now you can test your, you know, your machine learning and skills in just and test business ideas with it so much faster than, you know, 5-10 years ago, when like you really did need like the whole dream team in order to actually pull it off. Right. I mean, it's crazy. Like,
yeah, but as the barrier of entry is lower, the barrier, or like what's deemed as successful, has also risen, right?
Yeah, the bar is higher. The barrier to entry is lower, but the bar is higher, right?
Yeah,
and it's like, and the competition is more fierce now. Everyone, and that's why the only winner here is that Anguilla, the country that owns .ai. Like, those guys are printing money. All right.
Exactly.
It's amazing. Okay, so we have about like 5 minutes left here. I just wanted to get anyone in the chat here, if y'all have any questions. Oh, we already have one here from Lax Lifters. So he's saying, Sajad, what can college students do to leverage the most out of attending university for 4 years? It seems with AI, like new grads should come out being rock stars and more battle tested.
Right. So I think the best part of university truly is the network and the access to high level infrastructure, I would say. So obviously, like universities, they charge a lot of money for tuition and all that, but a lot of that goes, at least where I went to at Georgia Tech, into like research and professors and all that stuff, right? So I would really recommend every student take at least one AI course every single semester, if available to you, and try to get into a research lab with a professor, or like one of those like startup team type projects, if your university offers that, and see what things you can build in conjunction with other people, especially under the mentorship of like the people at your university. Because once you're out of university, mentorship is kind of like you define, you have to set up the infrastructure, the general guidance is there. But like if you have even some semblance of an idea or interest in this field, I would say try to leverage the network and the mentorship opportunities there.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Like, I mean, it's very interesting because I mean, different universities I think have like different levels of like support and success. Because like, for example, my university, right? Like the 4-year degree that I got, the whole thing was 16 grand. All right, for 4 years, right? And so it was like, and I would say that the support there was less, right? It was less by the nature of it, and it's all this stuff where it's like, and so in those cases, like for me, the way that I kind of like got in and landed my first job, well, first off, it was just the absolute best, most amazing hiring market ever 10 years ago. But besides that, like what I actually did was I had to go to meetups and kind of meet people, like, because I wanted to get a job in Salt Lake City, and I grew up in a small town, so I had to just essentially drive down to Salt Lake City, go to meetups, and just meet people and like connect with people, and that's how I actually found my like first like data job down there. And so like there's definitely so many different ways that you can kind of go about networking and building and all this stuff. But like definitely, like, I mean, I also feel like I don't know if I necessarily agree that like new grads need to come out being rock stars and more battle tested. I don't know if I think that might be
it's a good ambition, right?
Yeah,
like
I mean, I would love for that, but at the same time, like, I don't think I expect that from my junior engineers. I don't. Like, I mean, I get that, like, you don't have the experience yet, and that's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah. And like, so I would say that like don't put so much pressure on yourself. I think that's the other thing that you want to be aware of, is that like, we got probably the last question from Jennifer, then we can probably wrap up. This is a good one. Right. So how do you integrate your social media success into your LinkedIn without being looked down on by corporate culture? That's a good one.
By corporate culture, are you meaning like your management and like team? They're gonna like think like, oh, why are you trying to be an influencer? Like, stop talking. Or is that what it's meaning by this question?
I mean, I think it's either that or like, I would say it's probably that, because I mean the LinkedIn culture is not very like that. I mean, I found that like it's way more open than you would think. It's not as like corporate-y as like LinkedIn even brands itself as, so.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand where this question is coming from, because I actually had that very same concern before I started posting on LinkedIn. So I posted on everywhere but LinkedIn. Like, I posted on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. I didn't even want people coming from social media to follow me on LinkedIn. I mean, although people find you, but like I never advertised it in any way, because I just didn't want any associations. But then I realized that given the nature of my content, especially since I'm helping people get jobs, break into tech, I'm just doing myself a disservice and probably other people by not posting on LinkedIn. And so then I started doing it. Obviously, all my coworkers saw it, and very surprisingly, most of them probably didn't even care.
Yeah, they did. It just is like, it's just okay, nice. They might like it every once in a while. It's just it's not like, I mean, I've been there. I've had a couple times where like I've gotten some hate on Blind, like on the other side of like like that has definitely happened to me a couple times, like anonymous networks hating me. But like aside from that, like I feel like it's weird though when you like you know, like when you're on Blind and you know that the person hating you works at your company for sure because they, you know, they have off and they're like, yes, I am an Airbnb employee and I hate you. Right? And it's like crazy. It's crazy. But like, I mean, it is what it is, right? And I mean, but like, I would say that like the corporate culture thing is definitely overblown. I've said some. I know you're a lot more polished on LinkedIn, Sajad. I have said some very outlandish, crazy shit on LinkedIn. I have posted my dating profile on LinkedIn. I've done some crazy shit on LinkedIn, right? Just straight up. I bet you haven't even been on LinkedIn lunatics yet, Sajad. That you know, that's like
I've heard about that.
A rite of passage. A rite of passage. I know you will. You will at some point. Yeah, 100%. You like you will before you hit 100K, it will happen. It will happen. I promise. You will say something that's like, and for you, you'll be like, why did people take my post the wrong way? You know, and then it's like, it's just because, you know, it doesn't matter what your intentions are. If someone wants to read something into your post, they can read something into your post. You know, it's like, crazy. It's crazy, but amazing.
I mean, I'm also very blessed. Like my manager and like other people who have seen it, only positive things actually. Like
it's good for Splunk, man. It's good for Splunk. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. Like, it's like, honestly, like, I don't understand why more like, it's weird that like I still find it so weird that like that's how it's viewed, is that like, if anything, like if you're creating content and then you're saying I work at Splunk, like and it's good content, like we can like you're literally just free ads, right? Free ads of like, hey, look at this, come join the engineering culture at Splunk. It's amazing, right? So I mean, it's very interesting that like I bet more companies are going to be shifting in that perspective. But amazing. Thank you so much, Sajad. I really appreciate your time here today. Like,
thanks for having me.
That was like wild. I loved every minute of that conversation. And I hope you have a fantastic Thursday. And everyone, make sure to follow Sajad. I mean, like, I feel like if you just search Sajad, I love that about your name, is that like you just search your first name, you are at that level. You are like, you are like Beyonce in that way, right? You have the right. I cannot search Zach. I can also not search Zach Wilson. All right, like I can't even do first name, last name, right? You have to put Zach
the
Wilson.
Football player.
Yeah, the football player. It's bullshit. Like, but anyways, have a good one, man. I really
thanks for having me. Take care. Thanks.
Sure. Awesome. I will be back, everyone, in about 5 minutes. All right. I need to go take my dog out to pee because she is upset with me. You know, we got to keep going on this to make history. You know, we just got to see all the people in data and AI and just be so fly. You know, let's go. Oh my, I'll be back in a little bit. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on. Let's go, baby. Go to bed. No, Lulu, no. Lulu, come. No, Lulu. Lulu. Come on, come. Come here, baby. Come on. Go. Go to bed. How's it going, everybody? I'm back. That was a quick pee for Lulu. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, I live on the 30th floor, by the way. So like that was freaking okay. What's up, Elijah? Okay, like, oh, 1 second. Oh yeah, and then I got to get Avery in here too. Okay, there we go. Yeah, how's it going, Avery?
What's up? How's it going?
Yo, Elijah, can I hear you? Like, I think you're muted, Elijah. Let me. I can definitely hear. I can hear Avery. I can't hear you, Elijah.
That's too bad because Elijah's got funnier jokes than me, so
yeah,
we got to hear him.
Yeah, we got to hear him. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I forgot for people the discount code is I. Okay. I heard something there, Elijah, but it was weird.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yeah. Now you're right on track here now.
Oh,
so,
sweet.
Yeah, welcome. So you guys, we are we're at the 10th hour or 11th hour or something like that. I think we're at the 11th hour. No, 10th hour here. So we're doing good. Like, how are y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's nice seeing y'all. I haven't seen you guys in a while. So especially like in the face, right? Like,
I'm good. I'm doing better than you, Zach. I bet you're super tired. This is
no, I'm just getting started, bro.
Oh, okay. Okay, my bad.
I kind of wish I'd signed up for one of those like 3 a.m. slots. I think that's when like the data talk stops and out comes.
It gets very it's gonna get very unhinged, right? It's gonna get very like kind of wild, right? Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I've had some very good ones. I just got off of Sajjad. Sajjad was right before you guys. He was great, amazing conversation, and I think this is going to be an even more amazing one. We'll see. Like, so I think a lot of people here, like, so this is the data and AI marathon, right? So data, AI, every single conversation has talked about both at some point in the call. So what I'm wondering for y'all, right, is, okay, if you are like becoming a data analyst today, right, I wonder if there is like what do I say here? Like, if there's has it changed? Has it changed at all, you think? Like, in terms of like, you know, I feel like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it was like, learn SQL, learn Power BI, get a job, right? I don't know. Like I don't know. Is it different now? I don't place people in data analytics roles, so I don't know, and I'm just curious what you guys' thoughts are on that.
I definitely would say that it's changed some. I still think it's possible to break into analytics from a bunch of different fields. I do kind of agree with you that I think kind of around the pandemic was kind of that sweet spot where there were a lot more data jobs coming onto the scene. And so it's like, yeah, spend 2 months learning SQL and Power BI and you can land a really good data job or something. But now there's obviously a lot more competition. Like data and analytics has been the it job for 5 years now, but I still think that I think grit is ultimately what's going to set you apart and like thinking outside of the box, because a lot of people that are trying to break in do the exact same things as everybody else who's failing. So it's like if you can find a different way in there, I think that's how you're going to set yourself apart.
Yeah, something that has made the audience laugh. I don't know. This is like 8 hours ago now, but was we were talking about like projects, right? And I said that like if you build a project based on the Iris or Titanic data sets from Kaggle, that I will personally DM you on LinkedIn and boo you. I will boo you on LinkedIn if you put that in your resume or you put that anywhere. Like it's just not. I don't know. It just feels like it doesn't. You don't stand out anymore with something like that. But like I'm curious what y'all have to what y'all are thinking about like, in that regard.
Well, I think everyone listening who wants to become a data analyst should go build a project with the Iris data set now to get a DM from you, Zach.
Oh,
and then they can screenshot it.
And then they can screen, especially like if they're like Zach is a cyber bully.
Yeah, get seen by hundreds, thousands of recruiters and hiring managers.
I would go viral. It would go viral. Be like, dude, your capstone sucks.
So I think that's the best method moving forward. Nah, just kidding. I obviously like those data sets. To be honest, I think the Iris data set and the Titanic data set are like. To be honest, I think they're done more often when you're trying to break into data science. To be honest, a lot of data analysts don't know the Iris data set because it's like really good for like classification and clustering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the one that I see the most of is the stupid city bike sharing one that the Google Data Analytics certificate suggests you do at the end. And literally on the website, it's like 2 million people have gone through this. It's like, that project I cannot like I think that's the
city bike sharing. Let's go. So. They have another one in like the data lake world. There's like this New York taxi data set that like is also like just preloaded everywhere. And it's just like it's like guys, it's like I don't know, like there's something about that though of like where I think it's one of those things where you have the like if you have the ability to like go and source a data set, evaluate the data set, and then deliver insights from it, that is better than being like, oh, I was given this data set and I ran a group by query, right? I mean, like I think that is like, and that's one of the reasons why it stands out more, right? Is because it's like it does require more intent and more like actual like thinking about it, more like, okay, what am I actually doing? What am I actually thinking about here? So yeah, like
if I'm thinking of the right thing, is the Titanic data set the one where you have like the demographics of everybody that was on the Titanic and you got to like figure out correlations and all of that?
I think so. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, right?
And then usually it has one target variable. That's whether they survived or not. So it's like a classic logistic regression problem.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I love it. Like, I mean, it is, I love those data sets for like practice, right? And I love the data sets for like getting into like actual, because they're nice, clean data sets and it's lovely. And I love that about it, right? But I think that that's one of the reasons why they're also very bad for projects, because it's like at the end of the day, like, I don't know, I think all of us know that like the data that you actually work with on the job is always usually pretty awful. It's pretty like, I know there's always, I've never been there. I mean, even at the leading, best, amazing tech companies that invest billions of dollars into their infrastructure, the data sets are still kind of bad. Like there's still like issues with them. And I'm always like, what is going on? It's like, because it comes back to like this whole thing of like, it's very difficult to like get good, clean data. Like, and so like, I mean, I'm curious what y'all think about that. Like how should data analysts go about like maybe either finding good data sets or cleaning data sets on their own? Like what, because I know that is one of the most, isn't that like 50% of the time, or like isn't that what like 50% of the time of the data analyst is spent cleaning data or something like that? Like,
that's what they say, but I've never really experienced that. Like, granted, I worked most of my career as a data scientist, which I mean, it's kind of like the same point. You're focusing on insights, but like, I was actually curious to like reverse Uno card you, Zach, and be like, because like, okay, I can clean the data from a data analyst perspective, right? But like, doesn't it make sense to like have that be done more upstream? When I worked for Exxon, for example, they were never going to let me. I mean, I could clean the data from my own projects, but like, if I'm going to clean the data from like a data warehouse or like a data lake, doesn't it make sense to like do it more upstream and then have everyone like
1,000,000%? Well, because then everyone is using the clean copy, right? They're the fixed version. Well, it's like, well, then as a data engineer, right? Actually, one of the things is you can pass the buck again, right? Because then you're like, can't we just fix the logs? Because it's like, and then that's the software engineer's problem, right? Because then at some point it comes back to like the data was created at some moment, someone clicked the button somewhere and data was generated and it was probably bad. And so like, I mean, it depends. Like sometimes it depends on what type of, dirty or issue that there is. Like sometimes that is more of a pipeline layer thing or a logging layer thing or whatever. But like, yeah, I mean, that what you're talking about, what you're describing is also a general shift in industry overall, right? Have you guys heard of like shift left analytics? That's like where like we're moving models a lot further up. We are moving a lot of the data quality concerns a lot further up, so that like we're not doing giant case when statements in Tableau dashboards to clean the data, because that is definitely a big giant anti-pattern that like is like a big issue that shows up all the time in these and it's like that's the smell, that's like the data smell of like, this is a problem that's being solved in the wrong layer. And yeah, that's right. Totally right, Avery. That's like where you're right. That like it's one of those things where like when I see the it says 50% of the time data analysts are spending their time cleaning data, I also feel like that shouldn't be the case. And maybe it's not. I don't know. Sometimes I look at those like Gartner reports and I'm like, maybe they surveyed like one weird ass company, right? And it's like, who are they actually polling from, right? And it's like, there's like definitely some things there that like I don't think is necessarily representative of like all the companies, like.
Kind of building off of what Avery said about that it would make sense that was done more upstream. Let me tell anybody that's trying to get into data, you're rarely going to be dealing with like data where people upstream have done what makes sense. So you got to be ready to deal with data at whatever level.
Yeah, unless you work with me. Because I was a good data engineer. All right.
If you worked at Airbnb, it wasn't the case.
It was flawless. It was perfect. You had a pristine. The whole thing of like, can you pull the data real quick? And it's like, okay, just I'll select star from pristine, clean table. Right. That the only place that ever happened was when you worked with Zach at Airbnb. All right. Yeah, 100%.
Do Perfect name themselves after your data quality.
Yes, right. I mean, okay. So what do you think right now is, okay, so people need to stand out. They need to have a portfolio project. What else do you think is necessary to like get a job as a data analyst, in 2025?
Let me start this one off because I think Avery will be able to go much deeper with this because he works with people on a deeper level. But we're both going to say networking is what's going to help you. And at least in my opinion, this starts with your friends and family. These are people that like you do favors for them. They do favors for you. Every big company that has 100+ employees, and obviously there are thousands of companies like that in the United States alone, they hire data analysts, and the big ones hire tons of data analysts. So your first thing should be like, let me see where my friends and family work and see if they have any open data analyst job openings, and then see if they'd give you a referral. And then after that, it's really whatever else you can do to build those connections, whether it's going to a career fair, you can try the cold DMing route on LinkedIn, whatever you can. It's just about like you need to learn the skills, you need to learn the interview well, but kind of the ambiguous part that I think is the hardest part is landing those interviews with all of the noise there is in the data analytics world.
100%. And then it's just like very competitive now too, because it's like a lot of people are kind of like realizing that it's actually a pretty awesome gig, right? That it's like of like all the different positions that you can have. Like I've always found it interesting because it's like a lot of times there's people out there who ask me, they're like, Zach, like I'm a data analyst and I want to become a data engineer, and like, should I become a data engineer? And like, I think that the answer is complicated, actually, because it's like on one side, it's like, well, data analysts don't have on-call. Like they don't have on-call. So it's like, okay, if they don't have on-call, like freaking, that's great. That's great. I mean, it's honestly like, it all depends on like what you value, right? Is it like work-life balance? Is it like more money? Is it building more technical skills? Is it solving business problems, right? And it's like where I feel like there's, depending on what your kind of what your knack is, right, that like you might be actually more successful in an analyst role than in an engineer role, right? Because like that's what you're better at, right? And I mean, and that's where it's interesting, because like I feel like there's a lot of analysts out there who kind of look at like the data scientist and data engineer paths as like almost as like, I don't know, like the next level of the hierarchy or whatever. And that like, I don't know if that's not, it's more different than a level up, I guess would be my perspective. Like what are your guys' thoughts on that, on like the kind of like the data analyst to like these other roles?
But I think you kind of nailed it, to be honest. Like there's pros and cons to each. Yeah, it just depends on what you value. I do think that there is higher ceilings for salaries in both as a data engineer role and as a data scientist than there is as a data analyst. I mean, that's not to say like you couldn't make, you know, like 300K as a data analyst, like a senior data analyst or lead data analyst. So that's totally possible. But I think there's higher ceilings on those other two roles. Just kind of because a lot of the times there's more requirements, there's more hoops to jump through. Like you can go your whole data analyst career and never write like a line of code. Like there's people who just like are Excel maniacs and they're like, I'm just living in Excel. But I think that would be pretty hard to do as a data engineer and data scientist. And programming, it just takes time to learn. And then some of the math in data science, that takes time to learn. It's not rocket science, but like there are some, once you get into like data science algorithms, there are some times where like calculus and linear algebra I won't say it's mandatory, like every single like master's degree says it is, but like it's kind of helpful every once in a while. So I definitely think that like if you're a data analyst now and you're interested in those, I think you should go for it. Because like I think there's I don't know if you'll disagree with me, Zach. I think there's less competition for data engineer roles. I think there's a big demand for data engineering as there is for data analysts, but I think it's just hard to become a data engineer. So there's less people doing it. So I love the route of getting into the analyst role, and then you can like go into whatever you want after that. But I think the analyst role is like a really good entry point for a lot of people.
I do too. If I can jump in really quick, because once you're an analyst, I think you can kind of dip your toe into just like individual functions as kind of data sciencey and data engineering. Like in my current role, I've used, I did a logistic regression. So that's kind of like getting into the data science world, just like ever so little. But then like I also like got involved with like, we had a new object being created in Salesforce. So like designing the tables for that. And of course, again, that's also very light data engineering-y or like maybe more architecture stuff. But I kind of agree with that, because data analyst roles don't, in my opinion, always fall within the same box. They kind of overlap a little bit with all of these other things.
Oh yeah. And I mean, that was literally my first role in my job. Like I worked at this company, Savvy Sherpa, where I was like a Tableau guy. That was like my very, very first job out of college. And like, I mean, there was definitely, I wrote a lot of SQL in that role. I did a lot of dashboarding, and then ultimately it turned into like Python and web scraping. And I was like, okay, now this is not, and then they paid me a lot more at that point, once I was like, actually like, you know, doing a lot more technical work. And then and that was when I realized like, I want to be a data engineer. I want to do data engineering. I want the actual data engineer title, not like data analyst title. And then that's when I like went to Think Big Analytics. This is all in Utah, like many moons ago. But like that was you're totally right, Elijah, about the idea of like that there is this like it gives you an entry point, because it's the minimum skill set needed to like, the way I think about it is like it's the minimum skill set needed to like produce value on a data team. And then like from there, it's like, okay, do I want to explore more? Do I want to dive deeper into Python? Do I want to dive deeper into SQL? Do I want to dive deeper into statistics and you know, automations, or all the different things, all the different ways that you could potentially kind of grow from there, which I think is cool, because it's like, I think that that's one of the things that's strange about the whole field, though, is like this whole idea of like that there's not as many like, like you can't really go to college and get like a data engineering master's degree. They don't really exist. Like Joe Reese is literally working on one with the University of Utah right now. And
that's awesome.
I think they're releasing the first data engineering master's degree like next year. So it's like, and that'll be like one of the very first ones like developed. And I'm like, wow, dude, it's crazy that it took like 10 years from like when like it became a word to like when there was like an actual degree for it. So like definitely it's interesting how like most people are like, nah, just become a data analyst and then choose your own adventure. That seems like the most common kind of strategy for people to kind of grow in these roles, like.
For sure, that's super cool. I definitely think sometimes like undergrad degrees are taken a bit too seriously, but like especially above that, grad degrees, like that first class or two that comes out of that degree are just going to kill it on the job market because they're going to have something most everyone else doesn't have.
Yeah, that's freaking like so true. And like, I mean, so what do you think? What about AI? AI is a big thing that's coming out, right? And that's like something that like, I mean, there's also, I got into a big debate with Alex, the analyst, about this the other day, about like whether or not data engineers or data analysts were more susceptible to AI. And like, but like, I'm curious with y'all, like, what do you think about AI and how it's impacting these roles? Like, do you think it's like something that like needs to be, I don't know, adopted, aware of? I don't know, like what language would you use to describe this new like kind of, world that we're going into?
Okay, can I I'm going to pivot this and say, okay, data analyst versus data engineer. Okay, here's my next one that we're going to compare.
Yeah.
What about a lawnmower?
A lawnmower?
A person who mows the lawn. Like I've had so many people like, is AI going to take my job as a data analyst? Or like, should I get into data analytics because AI is coming? Yeah. And I'm like, AI hasn't figured out how to mow the lawn yet. Like what, isn't that like a simpler task than doing data analytics? When I lived in Sweden, for example, they all had robotic lawnmowers, but like that hasn't hit the market at all in the United States. And so it's like, isn't that a problem? Isn't that the problem that robots will fix first versus data analytics? I'm curious your thoughts. I'm throwing it out there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Elon's getting there. I know. This is have you seen some of the robot stuff that's coming out of Tesla? That stuff is crazy. But anyways, like I agree that is definitely a space to be thinking about, like where it's like, okay, how is this gonna be shifting, right? I think that what about something similar? Okay, not lawn mowing, but vacuum, right? Roomba.
That's a good example.
AI. Roomba's pretty good. All right.
I kind of hate Roombas. I'm not gonna lie.
I kind of hate Roombas.
I really do. Like, I'd prefer just to vacuum it because oh my word, never mind. This is bringing up old arguments with me and my mom. Never mind.
You have some unresolved Roomba trauma.
Oh, I have Roomba.
So it's so funny because in the house I live in now, my Roomba sucks. It's terrible. But that very same Roomba at my old house was cash money. I never vacuumed ever. And so I think that's maybe like a good metaphor that, someone says in the chat, landscape is not simple. Well, I guess neither is vacuuming. Or I guess vacuuming sometimes is simple when my house was like more just like a square, basically. And now it has a little bit more intricate stuff going on. It's not as simple.
Fancy architecture.
This house was built in like 1985. It is not fancy. But like my point here is that's probably the same with data analytics. Are there some things that AI is going to be good at with data analytics work? Yeah. Like, can it do some of the simple stuff? Sure. But like landscape is not simple and neither is analyzing data. I was just using, they will remain nameless, but I was just using an AI tool for data analytics tonight, actually analyze some data. And it was good. It gets me like 50 to 60% of the way there, but it's not thinking for me, right? Like I still have to direct it. And I still have to tell it, no, you're wrong. That doesn't look right. Redo it. Oh yeah, you're right. I missed this earlier. So like, I see it more as like putting on, Thanos with like the stones, the Infinity Stones, and like how it makes him more powerful. I see it as something that makes him more powerful versus that like creates like a robot version of you to do your job. I don't see that happening. At least in the next, honestly, for me, I don't think I see it coming in the next 10 years, but maybe 20 years. But I didn't even see ChatGPT and like LLMs coming at all either. So maybe I'm missing the mark. I don't know.
I mean, I'm with you. I get nervous a little bit and excited when I look at things like Cursor and Windsurf, because like at least for me, like in my and this is not necessarily for data analytics, but for full stack development, and this is where data analytics is in some ways more complex than full stack in the fact that like it has a lot more of this like business context part of it that's like more difficult for AI to pick up. But there's like when I'm doing full stack development with Windsurf, right? It speeds me up at least double, right? Probably closer to triple, right? When I'm like actually like leaning into it and really prompting really well. And like, that's when it's like, I don't like, I still build data expert is still mostly just built by me, right? I'd say like, you know, about 90% of the lines of code in the platform are written by me and AI. Right. And so like, and it's like, I love that because it makes my business more profitable because I have more hands and I have more ability to do things. But then at the same time, it's like, if I'm the CEO and I don't need an engineer, like, like that's a, you know, there's also like I guess when I'm running my own business, I see a case study of AI kind of happening in real time because I see where I should be hiring or not hiring different people at different moments in time. And I think that that's where there is sides of this that like I think are a little bit concerning in terms of like I think every single technical job has pieces to it that are very difficult for AI to do completely, right? But just like what you were saying with Thanos making you more powerful, right? And it's like, okay, but if like, you know, if you're so powerful and then you have a team of 10 data analysts, now with AI can do the work of 30 data analysts, you need less, right? And so there's like, it's not necessarily like, oh, the AI is just going to take all the jobs. Because I think that we're very, like what you were saying, like 20 years away from that or 30 years away from like where it's like you just have like an AI that can run with it, where it's just like where you say like where the prompt is just like analyze the data, right? And that's the prompt, and then it comes back with a perfect Tableau dashboard for you, right? And it's like, I mean, will we get there? Maybe, but like it's definitely like it's pretty far. So I
definitely think kind of where data analysts provide value and how kind of you can use AI really well. So I think if you're someone, it's like the only stuff that you do with AI are like these really simple use cases these AI platforms show. It's like do a graph of sales versus profit or something like that. Like that's something it can do, but like whenever, like I'm really good at writing SQL code on my own, as both of you all are, but whenever I use AI to write it quicker, I got to be able to know what I'm doing well enough to know what I'm going after. I need to have the communication skills and prompting skills to tell it exactly what I want. And then I need to have all of the skills that takes it to do the next step. So whether that's creating pivot tables or even something dumb like that, or whatever, and then applying it to the business, and also doing data validation, because it may spit you out code that's going to give you output, but that could be just totally wrong. So it's like you got to have so much of these extra analysis, communication, critical thinking skills that, like, at least for now, for like actual real data analytics jobs, like if you're not a good data analyst, you're not going to be a good data analyst using AI.
Yeah,
that's a bar.
That's a bar right there. That's clipped right there. That's clipped for sure. That's clipped. That's going on the gram. All right.
Oh man.
You guys got to realize I'm collecting 24 hours of content right now, and I can do so much with this.
So we'll see that video next year then, basically.
Yeah, right.
He's going to have AI read through all of it and spit out the like 14 best clips.
Oh yeah,
right. 100%.
Throw that thing in Opus.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so great. I mean, so, okay. So you portfolio, you're saying is important. You know, networking is important. What do you guys think about branding? How do you brand as like, say you're like an early, you know, data analyst trying to like get well known? Because networking is one way to do it, like, but like by going to like job fairs and all this stuff. Is there any other ways that you can like make yourself known that you would recommend?
I personally I think a good starting point is just having a good LinkedIn game. You don't need to be a LinkedIn influencer or anything, but like, I'm sure both of you all know, like there are people that follow you, that the way they comment on your posts, occasionally you'll see their posts. You can tell that, especially, you know, by the way they talk, that there's someone that seems very capable and stuff. And then if you see their other stuff, you could just tell that they're good. So it's like if you're active on LinkedIn, you're adding visibility to you, if nothing else. And I know some people are terrified of posting on LinkedIn. At some point, you got to realize it's not that serious. Like if you don't have like a platform or something, like you don't want to just be like on there like tweeting Lil Wayne lyrics or something like that. But share your projects. Be like, hey, I really enjoyed this Alex the Analyst video, and that's 80% of my content right now is just being like, I really like this Alex the Analyst video.
Yeah, boom. And like, I mean, that's like one of the things. Okay, so like, you know, I have done like 8 boot camps now, and like one of the things that I encourage everyone to do, and it's in the boot camp video, and no one takes me up on it except for the people that want to change their lives. It's very interesting. Is during the kickoff, I'm always like, if you really want to have this bootcamp actually change your life, just post every single day about what you learned. That's it. And then 2% of the bootcamp does it. And guess what? Those people are the people who get new jobs at the end of the bootcamp in 5 weeks. Right. And it's like, because first off, like they're making so much content and then they tag me in it and then I like it and then it goes super viral and then they gain a couple thousand followers and then like all these different other people are looking at them and then like they've already set this intention of like, hey, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm building. And then it's like that already just puts so much spotlight on them and that allows them to like move forward, you know? And it's just like, I mean, it's very interesting to me about like this whole thing of like, that people are very hesitant to put their words out there, right? They're very hesitant because it's like, because if I was designing a boot camp, like, and I was able to like tell people exactly what to do and force them to do it, that would be a hard requirement. That would be a hard requirement, not a soft requirement. It's a soft requirement in my boot camp now because I know like if I force people to do it, then like I will make fewer sales. But like yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, I'm the same way with my program. We try to make people post on LinkedIn as much as we can. And it's honestly changed my life. That's I think it's changed all 3 of our lives, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But it can be scary. But you know what else is scary is not posting and staying exactly where you're at. Mm-hmm. I think, you know, I try to liken it to the whole idea of being afraid of flying versus driving. Like driving is 10 times, I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot more dangerous than flying, right?
Yeah.
But it's like we're just used to it because we do it all the time. Mm-hmm. Well, not posting is what we do all the time. And that's actually, I think, scarier than posting because like the amounts that you can gain from posting is absolutely insane. When I first started posting on LinkedIn, I had no intention of ever doing anything. I just started posting and I was like, what? People read these posts? I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And this is when I was at ExxonMobil. All of a sudden I got a LinkedIn message the next day from like a VP at ExxonMobil. Hey, I want to meet with you. I want to talk about data with you. I said, okay, great. That's super cool. Let me just tell my boss, because I'm a nobody at Exxon, right? I'm a nobody. I tell my boss is like, no, you're not going to go meet with them. They're going to meet with me. I'm your boss. I'm like, okay, I'll say, oh, like, or she's like, my boss is like, I want to come with you. I was like, great. I'll ask the VP. VP's like, no, I just want to talk to you. Right. And so even within my own company, just posting on LinkedIn was getting me so much traction to the point where that ended up being one of the things that made me end up quit. But like the point here is like, if you post on LinkedIn, you just get visibility, and visibility is so important.
So we have someone who I gained so much from Avery's program. That's data career jumpstart, right? That's
Emlyn, thanks for saying that. I appreciate it.
It's amazing. Like, okay. So one of the things I've been saying to a couple other people is like, okay, if you think about this at the long game, the extremely long game here. So we're talking not like what is going to happen to data analytics in 5 years. What is going to happen to data analytics in 30 years, right? So like at this point where, you know, this is a point where, you know, I think both of y'all would be like, well, AI might be it might be there. Who knows, right? Who knows? 30 years is a very long time from now. But like what I'm saying though, that I think is very interesting about making content and building a brand is I feel like that is one thing that AI is not going to do. I don't think that AI is going to compete with me being myself. You know, like my personal brand, I feel like is mine, right? And that like the trust that I've built and it comes back to like, it's not about the SQL queries that you wrote. It's about the friends you made along the way. And I think that I know that sounds cheesy. I know it sounds cheesy, but I honestly feel like there's actually some like truth to that, of like this idea of like well, if you build a brand and then you make a lot of friends and you build the social capital, like I don't know, I just feel like AI is not going to compete with you for friendship. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it. You know, and it's like, and I think that that's one of those like when all the technical skills go away, right? That's what's left, right? We have like jokes, we have brands, we maybe have art, right? And it's like, okay, what is left?
Paint.
Yeah, right. Microsoft Paint, dude. Oh man, dude. Oh, I'll bring it back, dude. Microsoft Paint's really good. Microsoft Paint is my favorite. Like it's
that's my thing. There was a comment in there a few minutes ago. I knew that was someone from mine because I have Microsoft Paint mentioned in a post like every 2 weeks.
Dude, that's good. It's a stellar piece of software, dude. Like it's so iconic because it's been around. I mean, it's like right up there. Like I feel like I have like a bunch of those. I have Microsoft Paint and like Clippy just like stuck in my brain. Sometimes I have dreams about them, and it's like crazy. It's like yeah.
Utilization hasn't gotten better since the 90s, just like sitcoms. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Full House, like it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, it's that's peak humanity has we have not bounced back from that, dude. Yeah, 100%. Like I mean, okay, so we got branding, we got all this stuff. Like what do you guys think about like here's a controversial one. Like do you think that you should relocate for a job or should you stay like in where you're at?
I think, and it looks like Avery has strong thoughts on this as well.
Yeah,
I think if you're young and like especially if you're single and you have the moving power, if you really care about your career, I think moving will do it for you. Because I'll be honest, I'm married. I live near my parents and a lot of other family, so like it would take something like really big to get me to move out of near Lexington, Kentucky, where I live. But if I was out of college and had nothing holding me down, I definitely think moving and working in person can help you not only get more job offers, but higher paying job offers. And like, I mean, go to one of the tech hubs, go to Seattle, San Francisco, Austin, New York City, one of those. And you could just like, if you can put in a few years of just grinding, you could kill it there.
Oh yeah. 1,000% correct. That's like definitely one of the things I have noticed. Like I definitely noticed that like when I moved to California, that's when my life got better. That's when my life freaking like really stepped up and became like really intense because it's like, I mean, it's like, okay, if you want to make, okay, so we'll just put a number out there. I'm going to put a number out there. If you want to make $400,000 a year, right, in a data role, right, there's only 2 states, maybe 3 states that you can even live in. And that's going to be California, New York, and then Washington State. Like maybe Texas, like if you have like the Austin area of Texas, right? But it's like outside of that, like good luck, right? Like, and it's like, and so
Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City, dude, boom. And I mean, a 400K in Kansas City goes far too, right? It goes.
You go to every Chiefs game at that point.
Yeah. You have season tickets, dude. You're
sitting
balling,
next to Taylor
right?
Swift.
You are Mahomes' best friend. All right.
And yes, I am. So thank you for recognizing that.
So good.
I thought I saw you on the Jumbotron a couple times.
Yeah, right.
Like who's that hottie behind Taylor Swift? It's like just me. Like guys, leave me alone.
That's so good. I mean, I love. Okay, so Avery, do you have any opinions on relocating?
I mean, I did move to Texas to take my job at ExxonMobil. I loved living in Texas. It was a lot of fun. I think it's great to move somewhere else from your hometown. And then I moved back to Utah because I enjoy living in Utah. And now I work for myself. I work remote, so I could technically move anywhere I would want. So we like to think about it. We like to dabble. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have any really serious thoughts other than what you guys said.
Yeah, for sure. I think that there's it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting because like I think it's like complicated because now I mean this is probably my last year in California. Like I mean there's a very solid chance this is it. This is the last year here because it's like at the end of the day it's like there's this whole cost benefit analysis of like being here versus being in other places. And it's like, okay, like what am I getting here versus other places? And it's like, it's expensive, it's freaking like, it's like you get a little shoebox and it's $3,000 a month. And it's like, okay, like, it's like, I couldn't even imagine like if I was like in your shoes, Elijah, where it's like, if someone like offered you and you were like, okay, we want you to move to the Bay Area, like the amount of money they'd need to pay you to like move your entire family over here would be insane. It would have to be free, because especially without having to like dramatically reduce your standard of living versus where you're at right now. You know, it's Joe Reese had this thing, right? So Joe Reese, he lives in Utah, right? And Netflix offered him $1 million. All right. And he said no. Right, he said no, even though Netflix offered him $1 million to come out to the Bay Area and work. Right, because he was like, dude, it's too much. Right, it's not what I want. Right, and so like definitely, I've noticed that like there's a lot of different like factors that come into play. Right, of like what makes a good life. Right, so like I mean, I think one more kind of like thought that I have, and I'm curious what your guys is about, right? So, you know, when you create like this life, right, and you create this career and you create this kind of like vision for your life, like what should you be also be thinking about? Because I think like, you know, the old guard was all about like job title and salary. And I feel like I ate into it. And that's why I worked at Netflix. And I was like, I make $500K Netflix. And now I'm like, I don't know. It's like, now I look back on that and I was like, damn, I was brainwashed, dude. Capitalism got to me. All right. Capitalism got to me. And I'm just curious, like, what do you guys think about when you're thinking about like your ideal life and like where you're trying to go? Because I like to have balance in these conversations, because a lot of times I think when you're talking about career, it just gets very focused on like, you know, how can you make more money, right?
Yeah, I can take a stab at this, because I posted on Threads today. I've been loving Threads. I don't know if I know I've seen Elijah on Threads. I haven't seen you too much, Zach. Yeah. But I've been loving Threads recently. No, I mean I'm
just kidding.
Anyway, so I've on Threads today. My wife today had an appointment from 12 to 2 p.m. And so I got to hang out with my kids. And so I was just sitting outside. It's May 22nd in Utah. It's like 4 degrees. Perfect. I'm just chilling with my 2-year-old daughter at noon on a random Thursday. And I posted on Threads and I was like, I don't have $1 million, but like, to me, I'm rich. Like this is what I want. So for me, it's like to spend time with my wife, my kids, and do things I love. Also, the other thing is, I told Elijah this, Zach, I didn't tell you, but I had a soccer game from 7 to 7:45, and then I zoomed back home for this. But like, that's the other thing is I love playing soccer. I love playing basketball. I know Zach's been doing a bunch of running recently. I ran a half marathon on Saturday. Like for me, it's like amazing. Those fun adventures, my family. And then I love building cool stuff too, like and doing fun stuff like this and jamming like this. But the balance of those three things is what I care about the most. That's what I'm trying to optimize for.
It's a full life. It's a rich life, a very rich life, and all the different, you know, dimensions of it, you know.
I'm trying. That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, that's so good. What about you, Elijah?
That kind of building off what he said, one book that I liked enough, I didn't like it as much as a lot of other people, was the 4-Hour Work Week. But the one thing I really liked in that was kind of the lifestyle planning part. For the majority of people, you're going to be miserable if you're trying to chase every single thing in life. If you want to have a Ferrari, you want to have a $1 million house in California is a lot different than $1 million house in Kentucky. $1 million house in Kentucky, it's like you're coaching UK or something like that.
Yeah, right.
But if you go after all of these things, like some things are going to make you happier than others. So my thing is prioritizing what you want in life and be honest with yourself. If you're like, nothing would make me happier than getting a Ferrari, then like worry about that. For me, I wanted to be in a really good marriage. I want to be around my friends as much as possible. I want to have good financial security. So like if I lose a job or something, that doesn't really hurt me. And then probably travel after that. And then in my opinion, as long as I'm like somewhat financially smart, eventually like I'll be able to get a decent house in a decent place. And then like, who knows, if I'm lucky, maybe one day I'll get the Cybertruck like you, Zach. But it's like, if I'm going towards all of those things, I'm either going to get none, or again, for most people, you're going to be pretty miserable trying to have everything.
Oh yeah. And that's, I mean, that's one of the things that like, when I see like, you know, like Alex, the analyst, and his life, dude, I'm like, dude, that he's got it made, dude.
He does. Like, I got to visit his house a couple months ago. He's living the life. Like, and just like Avery, like while I was there, I wasn't able to go, but he invited me to one of his softball games. I was like, man,
Yeah.
He's killing it.
He's killing it, right? The whole tapestry, the whole rich life, right? I mean, the Cybertruck's pretty sick though. The Cybertruck zoom.
Zach,
right?
I have beef with your Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Did you know you got that Cybertruck? Yeah. That Cybertruck, you got it 10 minutes from my house and you didn't come say hi.
Yeah, right.
Bro, that's my exit. That's like literally my exit.
Yeah,
like if I go anywhere in Utah, I pass that Tesla dealership. That's where I got my Tesla.
That's
Bro,
amazing.
Say hi. So I got beef
so
with
good.
it, man.
That's so good, man. Yeah,
important question before we move off of this. Yep. Zach, do you play basketball?
I do. I played basketball in high school.
I did too. I haven't played in a while. I would need to practice, but now what I'm hearing is we need to have like a creator thing and do a basketball game because I'm sure we could fill in. Like that should be our thing. It's basically like I don't know if either of you all listen to My First Million, but I think like once a year they bring a bunch of like entrepreneurs to come play basketball, like Mr. Beast. But instead, it's going to be all of these like nerdy tech guys from LinkedIn.
My God, it'd be so good. So good. I would love that. That sounds amazing. That's not like, especially like if we made it like a tournament, especially if it was like 2v2, like a 2v2 tournament or something like that. That would be freaking, ooh, that'd be good. Yeah.
I bet you're tough in the low post, Elijah.
Yeah. Who else plays basketball, right? It's coming in, right? Yeah.
You would think so. I was honestly like chubby and slow in high school, just like I am now, but I started point guard my senior year. Like, to be fair, we were absolutely terrible, but I could handle the ball. I could at least handle the ball well and shoot. And
that's
honestly, the bar for my team was not turning it over as soon as you get the ball. But at least I could say I started my senior year.
That's awesome.
I love that, dude. That's so good. So we got we got about like 2-3 more minutes here before I gotta like, because my next live is actually the only one that's in person. So I'm meeting people. Like, it's great. I'm doing 23 virtual and 1 in person, and they're actually coming to my apartment here in like the next couple minutes. So we probably have time to answer one more question here. If people have any questions about data analytics or AI or basketball or, Elijah's jump shot or anything like that. Like, I mean,
well, I just want to shout out Lubo. Lubo's in my accelerator program, becoming a data analyst. I seen him a lot on your LinkedIn, comment on your LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he played like professional basketball. So I'm drafting Lubo on my team.
Boom, Lubo. Let's go, Lubo.
We got to get Ken to come play because I mean he works with Shane Battier. So like,
boom, dude, get all the analytics, dude. All of it, like,
he can be the coach,
dude.
He can be the coach, man. It is crazy. So it is crazy to see how just analytics change basketball, especially now with like the Pacers, the NBA. I don't know if you guys are following, but
yeah, dude, it's crazy. Yeah, they're like the Pacers. I feel like they're there because they're the data science team, dude. Like, because they're like they don't even have any stars, but they're like in the finals, right?
No, they're just like a million people that are all kind of equally good, and we shoot a bunch of threes and play good defense.
Yes, right. It's crazy. Well. Amazing, everyone. Thank you both for showing up today for the live. I really appreciate it. Like, I needed y'all's energy because like we are almost the next one is halftime. We're about to hit the 11th hour of this live, and we are getting there, which is like we're almost to halftime, which is going to be really, really awesome when we get to halftime. So,
well, way to go, Zach. We're proud of you. We'll be. I can't say I'll be staying up all night with you, but I'll be cheering you on from my
amazing. Just all I want is, can you catch me at 8 a.m. when my dark circles under the eyes? Just tune in on LinkedIn and be like, "Go, Zach!" All right, that's all I ask. I don't expect you to tune in at 2 in the morning. All right.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun, and I'm going to hold you all both to doing that basketball game sometime.
Dude, let's do it. Let's do basketball. Hell yeah. That'd be so amazing. Awesome. Have a good one, y'all.
See you later.
See ya.
Does Zach out of this?
There you go. Okay, so the next letter of the discount code is V. So next letter is V. So I will be back. This might take a little bit of time to set up for the next live because we're going to be changing up the mics and changing up some things. So we should be okay. I'm pretty sure we'll be good to go. But I will catch you guys back here in just a little bit. I'm going to go pick up Madeline, and then Delia should be here at some moment in a second. Actually, I want to move this right now. Yeah. I know y'all. Yeah, I'm muting. All right, we are getting there. All right, we are. I'm pretty sure this will work. We might need to move the couches even. Right, but if we push it down like that, I think this will work. All right, I think this would be good. All right. All right, y'all. Let's see what's up here. Hopefully, y'all have been taking good advantage of the discount codes because I really appreciate everyone's support here. This is what's making all of this really amazing. Hopefully, yeah, sound is good now, but like obviously it's not that great because freaking we are like if I would have like planned this out better, because I was thinking I was just gonna be in the I was gonna be in my room for the whole thing, but I'm not. I'm gonna be here. Oh, nice view. Yeah, I live on the 30th floor. Y'all want to see it? Here, like here. I'll show y'all where I live for a second. See? It's crazy, right? I don't know. Like, I like my view. Like, I'm pretty pumped for this spot. I think Madeline's here. So I will be right back, y'all. We will get everything set up, and then we will be jibber jabbering, and this will be the sunset set. All right, come on, let's go. Let's go, baby. Come on, let's go, baby. mean, so the setup is going to be a little bit ghetto, but it is what it is. I was thinking we're probably just going to be vibing on this couch here. Oh yeah, it's all good. So, do you have the mics? I think hello. I think we're good now. I think it's got to be pretty good. All right. Yeah. Well, like they're gonna let us know like if it's. Can you guys hear us? Can someone like give us some feedback here?
Is it muted?
Oh no, it's not muted now. We should be good. Like let's. I just want to see like if we can. Okay, if I'm back here. Okay, actually, this is not terrible. Honestly, I think that.
Can they hear us? I don't think.
Well, that was we can't hear a damn thing. Was freaking a while ago. Good now. Good now.
Okay,
So
perfect.
yeah.
Hello.
So we can just pass this around, or like we can. This is we can have two mics. It's fine. I mean, hopefully Delia can be here in a second. Like, but we can a little low, but can hear. Is there a way I can? Is that better? It's probably better now. There.
You can hold it closer to your.
Loud and clear. Perfect,
Okay,
y'all.
Yay.
Oh, yeah, we're actually 2 minutes early. We're great. Like we start at 8, so we can. Yeah, great.
Excited for the
Amazing.
live stream. Woo!
Yeah, right. What did you get the? Oh yeah, you have the blanket there. Perfect. That should be because we have Merv and then Delia and then you. Merv will be a nice like little nice touch here. So we probably want this light on as well because it's gonna get like it's gonna like halfway through the live it's gonna be a little bit darker. So oh well, it is what it is. We're 11 hours deep. So how's it going, everybody? Welcome. Like, oh, hey, Lulu. Lulu, come here. You gotta be on the stream. Oh, you're not gonna be on the stream? I'm guessing Delia is like 15 minutes away. Like I would imagine that's where she's at.
Hey Delia, what's up?
We might just start without her.
Are you okay?
Lulu, come here, Lulu.
Sorry. Do you want to or
Huh?
do you want to just talk to Delia?
Yo, Delia, where are you at? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, well, we can probably come and get you, but like, yeah, like that should be fine. The 30th floor. Yeah. Yep. That sounds good. Awesome. Sounds good. It's all good. Yeah. Let's get started here, everyone. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. This is the one non-virtual live of the 24 that we're doing today. So I want to introduce, we got Madeline Zhang here. So Maddie is currently a senior software engineer at Airbnb. It's Airbnb is a pretty cool company. I like Airbnb.
Definitely didn't work there.
I mean, I don't know. Like for me, I grinded 7 years in big tech. All right. And the only years that weren't a grind were the years at Airbnb because they were chill. I don't know. That was just my perspective on it. But so Maddie also does content creation on Instagram, doing a lot of different software engineering, kind of meme content. And it's good. I like your content. Every time I see your content, I'm like, relatable.
Right? Content too. Obviously.
Yeah. I need to make more of it. That's my problem. Is I need to be on that Instagram grind. I need to make more reels. That's what I'm excited about with Albert. So can you introduce yourself a little bit more, Maddie?
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Zach. This is so cool to be on the live stream. Also see you in real life. It's been too long.
Yeah. Right.
I'm Maddie. I'm like Zach mentioned. I'm a senior software engineer. I currently work at Airbnb. All opinions my own on this stream, obviously.
Yes.
Before Airbnb, actually, I left 4 months ago. I was at Google, and I have interned at I did 6 internships before new grad at Google, and then before Airbnb. So that's kind of my career trajectory so far.
That's great. I mean, that's amazing. It's amazing. So how have you been liking Airbnb?
I really like it. Everyone is obviously everyone at Google is nice too, but everyone is so nice. I think it is pretty chill if you're not working on the biannual launches, which just happened, which I wasn't. Yeah. I think people are really eager to help you out. I've had a good time onboarding. I really like my team, and the perks are great. So for context, I love Airbnb as a product. I literally haven't booked a hotel since the pandemic. So for the last 5 years, I've only booked hostels and Airbnb. So dude, really big fan of the product.
That's amazing. I think for me, I had a hard time adjusting to Airbnb culture initially because I came from Netflix, and Netflix's culture is just not chill, right? It's very tell me how you really feel, right? It's a very radical candor, very intense culture. And then when I got to Airbnb, I was at first I was why is everyone so nice? I want people to be mean to me, right? And then I was oh wait, no, this is good. I actually like it. But definitely there was the first 6 months, I felt like people were being almost superficial. They were being they were holding back something, and that they were being overly nice. And then I realized no, I was just I was just too indoctrinated into the Netflix culture. Right? It's very interesting how different companies have their ways of operating, right? And I definitely noticed that I felt like Meta and Airbnb were more similar, and Netflix was more different, in terms of the cultures, right? And and I actually feel like Meta and Google are actually pretty similar, in terms of where Google's a little bit more let's build it right, and Meta's let's build it fast, right? Besides that, they're pretty similar, I mean,
it's a big difference though.
Yeah, it's a very big difference. It's that's why I think that's why Meta people turn over a little bit faster, right? Because they're dude, I'm burnt out. I don't like it here. I mean, so this is the 24-hour data and AI marathon. All right. So I want to ask you, how is AI impacting your work? What are you doing as an engineer? How is it impacting your work on the ground?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess obviously to help me code, I'm using a lot of things ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, take your pick. To be honest, I guess I don't use it as much for my day-to-day 9 to 5. But with doing side projects, Deli and I tried vibe coding for the first time a couple weeks ago, and then I tried making my own project. So it's been really interesting. I like it so far. I feel like I'm probably not the best at prompting, so I have to get better at that.
You're not a senior vibe coding engineer yet?
Not yet.
Dude.
But yeah, I think something I really do appreciate is, for example, I'll say at Airbnb, a lot of the legacy code is in Ruby because we're trying to migrate.
Yeah, trying to get into SOA, dude. Trying to get everything on Java, dude. Right?
I have never written a single line of Ruby before Airbnb, but I will say sometimes if I get stuck, it really helps for me to ask like AI, like give it, what does the syntax mean, and it tells me. And
like Ruby has some weird things. Ruby uses too many symbols, dude. It uses way too many symbols. Like when I'm like accessing arrays and shit, I'm like, what is this arrow symbol fucking shit going on? Like I used Ruby at and I didn't ever work in Ruby at Airbnb because I was like on the data team and we just only used Scala. It was like very like sweaty only Scala. And but at Netflix I used Ruby again, it was like a legacy thing because a lot of like the cybersecurity people, like they wrote all their detection scripts in Ruby, and I'm like, why? Like it was hot. Like in like 10 years ago, it was a hot thing. Everyone was like, Ruby on Rails is the future, right? And it was like really good for building things out, actually, right? And then it's just like, but now people are like, no, it has fallen out of favor, right? And now it's like, other things that are going to be different, right? And I mean, okay, that's cool. So that's interesting, though. That's interesting that like, because I guess one of the things that I've found interesting about like big tech and everything, at least the headlines, that kind of says like, well, all of our engineers are using AI, so we need half as many now. So bye, right? And then Microsoft, 7,000 engineers gone, or whatever. And it's just like, okay, but then it's just very interesting to hear that, and then to hear you say, I don't really use AI on the job, right? And it's like it's kind of like a very interesting kind of juxtaposition of those two things of like, okay, like how like it's because it's still being adopted. I feel like it's slow, and like these companies are still like, they have the privacy stuff. You're not just going to pump everything to OpenAI, obviously. And it's like, okay, how do you balance all that stuff? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely security concern. So I guess for context, like I know at Google and Airbnb and other companies, sometimes they have internal models, or they have like internal things where you're allowed to submit you're allowed to like put your code in, and it doesn't use like the OpenAI models. But yeah, I think that definitely I personally partially don't use AI as much because I'm kind of afraid of accidentally leaking, joking. But I mean, I do use like, for example, Airbnb does like have Cursor, or so we use that, and like Google had like I guess Gemini and had like things like that. So just like I think using back to what you're saying, I don't think that AI is going to take over software engineering jobs, but I do think that AI will replace people who will not use AI. So definitely I see a shift of like everyone using like AI tools, trying to learn AI, trying to learn prompt engineering. So I feel like AI is a tool to make you a better and more efficient programmer. But as of now, hopefully not going to replace us all.
Yeah, I mean, I totally, I mean, I love it. Cursor is amazing. It's amazing. It's one of those things where it's like, for me, how it works is whenever I'm building out a feature, and like right when I'm like, this is the feature where I'm going to suffer, then I'm like, Cursor, you do it. And then it just does it. And then I'm like, now I don't have to suffer. And it's just like, it feels like all of the pieces, like when I have a vision of the feature in my head of like, this is what I know I need to build, but I'm like, oh, but it's like 200 lines of code. And then I'm like, and I don't want to do it. And then like, that's where Cursor seems like it does a very good job of like, just kind of giving you that scaffolding. Sometimes it just gets it right first try too. And I'm always like, that's when I'm scared. I get scared when it's like, I don't have to like even edit a line. It's just like, right. That's like where I'm like, ooh, this is too good.
Oh, sorry. I meant Copilot for Airbnb and Cursor for personal.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Right. Oh, that makes sense. Because Cursor's still like OpenAI, all the freaking mess, right? I mean, what's Copilot use? Isn't Copilot also OpenAI? I think it is.
Well, I guess so you can use like different models. I guess like.
Well, yeah, you can plug in. At the end of the day, you can pick whatever model you want underneath the hood. But it says like, I mean, like, I guess with Copilot, they probably have a different terms of service than Cursor does, right? There's probably like, and that's what's interesting with a lot of these companies is like, how do they work, and like, what is the privacy thing, and like, what is happening with all this stuff? Because one of the things I was thinking that was like really crazy to me, and it was like very spooky that like what so Cursor I asked Cursor, I was like, give me the code to onboard Databricks users into a group, right? And then it just gave me all this code. And I ran it, and then it was like forbidden, right? And then I was like, what the hell? And then I actually like looked up the docs, like the Databricks REST API docs. And the endpoint that Cursor gave me isn't in the docs. It's not in the docs, but it exists because it's giving me 403 back, forbidden. So it's like, I'm like, where did Cursor get that code from? Like, it's like, obviously Databricks, it's not an external API. Where did Cursor get the information to make that, to make that REST call? Like, where did it, like, it knows that it exists. It knows that it exists, but like, and I was like, that's crazy. That's really crazy. And like, I realized that I'm like, okay, there's things that are happening here that like I worry about with some of this like privacy stuff, because I'm like, did like some of like Databricks like internals get like leaked into freaking Cursor or something like that in order for it to like be able to give me that endpoint? Because the endpoint doesn't exist, or I mean, it does exist, but it's not externally relevant. It's only internally relevant, right? And I'm like, okay, that's freaking spooky.
Maybe it just like, I don't know if it was a common endpoint name. Maybe Cursor just guessed right.
It just guessed right. Yeah, right. That's gonna be like, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Like I'm excited for it though. So like, do you think it's something? So you're saying that like engineers need to adopt it. If you had to estimate how much more productive you are with AI versus 2 years ago, right? How much more productive are you today than say 2023 or 2022?
I think that depends, to be honest, on the project, because I do think. So for example, when I was at Google, I worked a lot on stuff that wasn't very well externally documented. So as a result, like back when we had like Gemini, or I think Gemini was called Bard back then, it was still really hard for me to use AI effectively, because I feel like there just wasn't that good documentation. It wasn't that much code on what I was trying to do at Google. So I think it's hard for me.
And you just have to suffer. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's hard. I mean, because it's like, even if you had AI back then, it's like it wouldn't help because there's no context. The AI doesn't have the context. It's like writing good docs is so important now. I feel like docs are even more important now than they were like, 5 years ago. Because it's like, sure, your engineers are freaking slower without the docs, but if the AI has the docs, then your engineers can be way faster, because then they don't even have to read the docs, because the docs will just give you the code. It's like,
specs are important.
Yeah. So, but I get what you mean, that like it's hard to compare, because it's like, even if like, so you think that you were in like maybe a more challenging space at Google because of that, or like just a harder like space to like build in, because it was just like was it just like a lot of legacy code that was undocumented, or like?
Yeah, so for context, this isn't all of Google, but I specifically was on Google Search. So Google Search, as you probably know, is like a very, very old product, and I think it's really cool, and I still love Google and love Google Search. Yeah. But I do think that the way that the binaries that we develop to make Google Search, it takes a while to onboard and takes a while to understand, and there isn't that much good documentation for those specific binaries. Yeah. That makes sense. Because of that, it's just like a bit harder than something more open source, or something like similar to open source. Like I did not write like React or Angular at Google. I wrote an internal framework. Internal stuff, yeah, where it's gonna be like, what? But I guess it's like one of those things where it's a trade, right? Because it's like, I feel like when you're working on the internal stuff, like you get better at like fundamentals, and you get better. I mean, it's one of those things that like when I was at Facebook, right, I only worked on like internal stuff, and like that's what broke me. That was the thing where I was like, I can't just keep doing this, because I'm becoming a very good Facebook engineer, but I'm not becoming a very good engineer, because I was like, all of this stuff is only relevant within the context of this one very specific company. And I'm like, how is this like, and that was what ultimately made me like really drawn to Netflix, because Netflix is like, and Airbnb the same way, where they're like, no, we use AWS, right? We are on the cloud, and it's like a lot of the the tools and techniques that you use at these companies, you could go and like use in your own startup, right? You could go and build your own thing with it. And I do that. I literally did that. I know a lot of the stuff I learned at Netflix and Airbnb, I now apply in my own company, because I can, and I use AWS. I use the same services. It's all the same stuff. Whereas like, at Google and Meta, it's like, no, it doesn't work that way. You can't just like adopt the services, it doesn't work that way. So yeah, that definitely was one of my motivations for wanting to try something new when I left Google. And yeah, again, full disclosure, I still really love my time at Google. Just putting it out there.
Google was sick, all right.
No, it actually was. And I was like actually talking with my friends, like literally 95% of my friends are Googlers or ex-Google. Like Delia, I met, she's like ex-Google, right? We
Oh,
work
yeah.
at Google.
I almost worked at Google. I had an offer. But I went with Airbnb. So.
I see. But yeah, like I think just one of the considerations was just I felt like I was working on something very internal, and even though I thought it was like pretty cool, I wanted to find a stack and work on projects that would be more applicable if you know more applicable if I wanted to go somewhere else or do projects.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, that's great. So do you have a dream then? Do you have a dream of building your own thing? That sounds like you have a dream of building your own thing.
Oh, I don't. So I'm not gonna make my own startup anytime soon. I think it would be cool to do one eventually, but I think I would need to figure out my work-life balance and also figure out like what exactly that idea is. Let me just double check to make sure it's not
that's Ryan.
Oh,
Ryan.
okay.
Yeah, Ryan's hitting me up.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the call with Kevin in like 45 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I mean, I get you. I mean, I've been doing a startup for 2 years now, and it's awful. It's awful. Like it's one of those things where I'm like, it's like I left my nice 30-hour-a-week Airbnb job to work all of the time, right? And it's just like, is it worth it? Yes, it is worth it, but it's also not worth it. Like it's like, I mean, if I think about it from like the angle of like my like sense of fulfillment, it's way worth it. It's way worth it because I'm like, I feel like I'm actually working on something that matters a little bit more deeply to me versus like just being like moving this giant machine forward, right? It's nice. But then on this other side of like, it's more lonely, it's more stressful, it's more like, and there's like in every other dimension, it's worse, right? And so like, and I think there's like kind of a side of it is like, that's why like, you know, entrepreneurs, generally speaking, are way more likely to suffer from mental illness because and it's not like a sad thing. I mean, it's like more like, it's like it's what it is because it's like, in order to be in that space, you're supposed to like, it's a crazy decision, right? It's a crazy decision because for me, it's like, I could have just stayed working at Airbnb 30 hours a week, freaking vibing, and just retired in 3 years and been chilling, right? And just not like pushed, right? But it's like, you have to have this kind of crazy mindset. You have to have that like thing in you of like, I want more, I want to do something more extreme or more different. And that was like and I think that's the part that's like where you really have to want it. It's not, you don't want to like casually start a startup, right? It's like something that you have to be like, this is something that's deep in my bones, right? Otherwise it's like, it's not a good idea. It's definitely much better to like work somewhere that's chill, that's going to pay you well.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely, I'm really happy that you made the jump, and I'm happy to see that it paid off. I think for me, it's like, I feel like I may have told you this before. Like, I think I take how I do at work very personally. Like, not I've only gotten good performance reviews, not that, but it's like, I feel like if like right now, you know, I'm at big tech.
Yeah.
I still struggle to, but I can, you know, like turn off my brain at like whenever I end work. Despite that, it's not like any of my employer's faults. Like, I feel like I just always have work on my mind.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I coupled that with something that I like, it's my own product, it's my baby that I'm super passionate about, I feel like it would get really overwhelming. So I have to figure that out first.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that.
But, and also, I guess, figure out the domain, because I think for a while I really wanted to do like something with like healthcare. And
healthcare's a lot.
Healthcare,
healthcare's
for
a lot.
Americans, but I feel I was in Google Health I was in Google right before joining search and then ads. I think it's a very difficult space to solve, and I think Google is trying its best. Like startups are trying its best.
They bought Fitbit, right? Google bought Fitbit, right? That was freaking wild.
Definitely, like, there's a lot of like regulations, a lot of like other things that are just out of your control. So again, maybe someday, but definitely not anytime soon. I have to think hard about how to fix the work-life balance and how to like what domain.
Do an AI startup. Do a Chat GPT wrapper B2B SaaS AI startup, right? Then you'll be just like every other person in this freaking city.
We love San Francisco.
San Francisco is great. That's like, I was born at, you know, ever since I was a little boy, I wanted to found a B2B SaaS company, right? Is Delia here? Sorry, is it 3007? Okay, it's 3001. Can you tell her 3001? Oh, no, there we go. I'll go get her.
Speak of them. I'm just gonna double check the audio is okay. Let me look at the comments.
You just guessed 2001 or 2007. You found it. Amazing.
Yay! Okay, let me just grab my bag.
Yep,
Sorry.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, we're back, everyone. We're gonna have 4 people here in just a second, and the conversation is just we're gonna ramp up here. It's gonna be great because we have 40 minutes, and then I will be 12 hours deep, right, halfway done, and then going through the night is gonna be a lot.
When does this end again?
9 a.m.
Oh, holy wow!
Yeah. So this is halfway. Halfway is in 40 minutes, right? So I started at 9 a.m. and it goes till 9 a.m. So
wow.
Yeah, we have people this whole time. It's gonna be amazing though. Like I'm really, really excited about it because it's like I'm more energized now, and I can tell. I know for me, I'm gonna regret at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. is when I'm gonna be like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, and that's why I'm gonna need y'all to help me rally.
Do you have caffeine or
anything?
anything?
I have tons.
Oh
of
my
caffeine.
gosh, a lot of Red Bull.
I'm already pretty Red Bulled
Bull
up right now.
sponsor the stream next
Red
time.
Bull, yeah, Red Bull sponsor the stream.
Actually, in college, I think Red Bull did sponsor one of our dorms parties.
Dude,
so
that's
really
amazing.
Fun.
That's amazing. Can you point your faces towards the light? Oh, she's saying like flip it around, like have it be like this way.
Kind of backlit.
Yeah, it's a little backlit. We can try. 1 second. The laptop is probably gonna survive. Like, do we flip everything though? Like, I mean, the only problem. Okay, we can put it maybe on this freaking. Here. This and like, but then we don't have the good view. But I mean. You can do it this way and flip the whole couches.
Okay.
It'll get better here. Ah! Oh, whoop. Now we're good. Oh, it doesn't actually turn that way, but oh well. Oh yeah, it looks a lot better. Okay, we'll do it this way. That's fine with me. We'll be like, this is good enough. All right, I'll be. There we go. Then we can just be like. Yo, how's it going, everybody? Tough act to follow, right? Doing great. Oh, look, you get now. Lulu's she's right there. She's in the screen.
Oh, hey, Lulu.
Barely.
Lulu's
over
so
there
cute.
munching on the little like chew stick. It's amazing.
Oh,
so
cute.
okay, okay, so we have, different. Where's that?
Wait, didn't she come in? Wait, you said
we're gonna have like 30 minutes here because like I gotta cut you guys at 9 o'clock because that's when Kevin's on. So we
can continue then.
Oh yeah, I mean that's all good. So okay, so what I'm thinking is I know there's a lot of people who want to do big tech, right? They want to go in this role. They want to go in this direction. And then they also are like nervous, right? Because there's like this whole thing of like, well, if I just, go and get a job in this space, am I just going to work? The numbers aren't great either, right? The numbers in big tech aren't great. It's like, the average engineer in big tech works there for 18 months, right? And then they're gone, right? And so it's like it's one of those things where it's like I feel it's like there's almost like it's looked at as like the pinnacle when for like at least half of the engineers, it's like it's a very short journey, right? It's like one of those things where it's like, so do you have any thoughts? I mean, you're what? You're like 5 years deep now, essentially, or getting there in 5 years of like big tech, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I mean, what do you have any suggestions for people on like how to like have more longevity in this space? Because I think there's like 2 things, right? One is that like there's definitely engineers who are hired who like are probably the wrong hire. It's not a culture fit. But then there's this other side of like they probably are a culture fit. It's just like it's a lot, right? Do you have any thoughts on like how to like have like a longer? Because we had Andre at 1 o'clock was talking all about how like working in big tech is a very good way to like retire early. But the only way you can do that is you have to last longer than 18 months. You can't just like go work at Facebook for 18 months, retire early. It doesn't work like that, like.
Yeah, that's a great question. So like Zach mentioned, this I think in August of this year, it'll be 5 years working full time in big tech. I was at Google for 4.5 years before I left. I think for me, to be honest, I really like big tech. I like the culture a lot. I like being at an established company. And I also think big tech is big, right? So as a result, people can switch teams if they feel like they're getting stagnant in a previous team.
Yeah.
So I actually switched teams once when I was at Google.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really helped like re-energize me and helped me like be excited about learning like something a bit new, like still in the same company, but a bit new.
Yeah.
I think when I left Google, I was looking at the percentage of Googlers who had been hired after me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually like 70% or 78% or something like that.
That's
so
goated.
Definitely, I will say, I think your statistic, maybe it counts like interns and contractors, because I feel like one year seems like a bit short.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just total. And
Oh, yeah.
obviously, it also might count people who like. I'm not sure how it counts
It's
people who are like
skewed.
left, who haven't left yet. Because if you stay like for like, I don't know, 15, 18 years, and I don't know. Anyway, yeah, the first thing I would say is like definitely if you feel like you're being stagnant in big tech and you don't want to leave big tech, look into switching teams. Also, Google has this thing called 20% projects.
I'll go get Delia.
Okay, I'll talk. Okay, solo. Okay. So let's talk. What are Zach's deepest and darkest secrets? I'm joking. Anyway, so basically, if you feel stagnant, definitely don't be afraid to switch teams. Google has this thing called 20% projects, where if you don't want to switch teams, but you do want to try something new, sometimes your manager will let you do like 20% of your time into
like something new,
something
right?
else, like a different project at a different team, and then you can use that to evaluate if you like that particular stack, if you like that particular domain.
That's such a healthier way to do it. I think for me, like when I was in big tech, I was always like, I hate my team. I'm done. I'm gonna interview, right? Yo, Delia, how you got to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Delia. I'm sorry I'm late to the party. Oh my God. Holly, Landon, Lulu, this is such a good party.
Yes, right.
Yes, thank you for having me. I apologize for my lateness. Thank you.
Yep, of course. Yeah. So
Yes.
Who are you?
Who am I? That's a very deep philosophical question.
Okay, why should people listen to you?
Ooh. Well, in the tech space, I am a software engineer of 7 years. I used to work at Google, just like Maddie.
Bunch of ex-Googlers here.
Bunch of ex-Googlers here. Yeah, I now am a full-time content creator, kind of like Zach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm monetizing, not as good as he is though, but you know, we're trying to make
getting
it
there.
We're getting there. Yes, you got data expert, I got info expert.
Boom.
Very, very different things, but we're both killing it in the creator space.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think people need to get more into the tech space, and I'm trying to inspire people to get into the tech space with my tech unicorn channels.
Oh yeah, perfect. So, okay, I got some follow-up here. So this is the Data and AI 24-hour marathon, right? So we are currently 11 and a half hours deep into this marathon. And I have been asking everyone, I had a great conversation with Maddie about this, but like, how are you using AI right now to make more money as a creator?
Well, I'm a lazy girl. To be fair, I do work a lot. I wish I didn't, but I try not to work a lot. So most of the work I do is just sending my thoughts to AI and making AI turn that into content, and adding my like humanness to AI to make it try to sound more human. So most of the content I create, like I'm on all social platforms all the time, and I just feed my thoughts into AI and try to make it sound like me. And my whole goal is to monetize my existence so that I don't have to work and that I can just get AI to create content for my thoughts.
Yeah,
definitely something that Delia taught me, which is so simple. I never thought about it before. Is like you can like just literally like voice to text to AI, and I.
I speak to ChatGPT in the shower.
Yeah,
all the time. You should, if you have shower thoughts, talk to ChatGPT.
Yes.
any your AI of choice, obviously.
Yeah. So at the beginning of this segment, we actually talked with Nick. You know, the guy. You remember Friend?
Yeah, it's called Omi.
It's own. Oh no, it's called Omi. I know. We literally had a 1-hour segment with him talking about this. About like, you know, instead of talking to ChatGPT in the shower, you just record every single thing that you say, and then you have the data. you have the data, right? And that can be the other way that you can do things. But then it's like, are you just gonna always do that? It's like, I don't know. Would you ever do that, Maddie? Just wear a pendant that literally records everything that you say?
I would try it, but I don't think I would do it for like forever.
Forever? Like, I'm just like, I'd be like, I start wearing it today, and then like when I'm 95, I take it off. I'm like, here's my entire life.
I mean, that'd be cool.
Summarize Zach's life and just put it into a prompt.
Like, give to your grandchildren.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. I feel like it's the future. I think it's like one of those things, where like big tech, they're already listening. So like they're already recording everything we say. So like, why not have us do it too? Take the power back, take the data back,
I already do that.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, Nick is trying to hire me to be like the manager of the creators for his creator house.
Yeah.
And like today I was with Merve at the
Merve, come on, you got to get on the live.
Yeah,
let's get more in here.
You're invited to the live. Now we got like a 4-person live.
Yeah, right. There we go.
I was like, okay, this Anthropic event is cool, but it's a little boring. So I invited Merve to come with me.
Yeah.
And I was recording it with Omi actually. Like
That's
with the Nick's
good.
product.
Yeah, with
I
Nick's
really
product,
do like Nick's product.
Oh yeah. It's great.
Yeah. So I would use it regardless.
Yes.
But it's a good substitute for just using like notes apps or like voice memos, because voice memos don't record as well. And I've been to 5 tech conferences in the last week.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And I can't conceptualize that many thoughts. And I also have the memory of a goldfish with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So having a recording device that just like handles all of that for me and then summarizes everything and then turns it into content is such a good idea.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of where Nick is heading, and I really like that idea.
Yes, amazing. Hey, Merve, you want to introduce yourself to the stream? We're currently 11 and a half hours deep into this AI and data marathon. So I want you to say who you are. What are you about?
Of course, I'm Marve, so I'm founder of Marvelous. I host a lot of like events, basically like monthly AI Insiders events in San Francisco, if you are around. And if you are specifically like domain expert in some field like cybersecurity, health, biotech, like something like that, you can just come to my events. And other than this, like I'm ex-Googler too, and
wild.
And computer science background, as you expect. Yeah, I love coding and stuff, all the nerd stuff. But also I love robots too. I used to build line following robots with C++. Yeah, I have some experiences like that. Yeah, I love people.
Traumas. We have C++ trauma bonding. It's really great.
Exactly. It's great. And I build a lot of communities for like developers, basically. Yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing. I think that's like a space that is like really important, this community, because like one of the things that is a common theme over the last 11 hours is like, okay, I'm curious what your thoughts are. Okay, in 30 years, all right, in 30 years when, I don't know, we've achieved, some sort of AI super god of some kind, right? What's left for humans, right? What's left for us to do? And I think there's a very unsatisfactory answer of universal basic income, where we collect a check from the government, right? And it's like, that's exactly what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, was collect a government check. Be on welfare. Yeah, go us, right? And one of the things that I was thinking, that I was talking with a lot of people about, and why I'm nudging people to even make more content themselves, like even people in other spaces, is like, one of the things that I think about is like, so in 30 years, AI is still probably not going to compete with me for my own brand. And I would hope not. That'd be crazy. It might. It's like, yeah, right. It's like Zach AI. It's like a competitor brand, right? And I'm like, and then it gets better reach than me, and I'm like, dude, this is fucked up. But like, I think that like the personal brand is one of the things, and then like the personal brand and the community aspect. I think community is definitely something that we're gonna probably still have in 30 years. I would hope, right? Unless AI is like really evil. We have like Skynet, evil AI, then like maybe not. But like, hopefully, it's like we have personal branding. We have community, we have fun, I don't know, we have connection. it's like kind of boils down to that at the end of the day, right? It's kind of like in some ways I think exciting. What do you think, Maddie? What else do we have left? You know, when the AI overlords come.
I will say maybe Delia can really. I feel like as of now, I don't think AI is that good at specifically making funny coding memes. Like I've tried really hard to ask it to give me ideas, and maybe I'm bad at prompting, but it's like, you know, there's like a certain amount of human degeneracy that it just doesn't have. I feel like right now when I try to get it to make memes, it's kind of like if you get your like 50-year-old dad to try to make like a meme. It's kind of that level at some point.
So you're saying dad jokes are good? Like, oh, dude, we need to check that out.
No,
Maybe,
it's not dad jokes. It's like AI trying to pretend what it would like to be like a 25-year-old sophomore.
Yeah. You're like ChatGPT. You are not Gen Z. Like you're not. It's like a boomer trying to be Gen Z, right? I mean, yeah, that's.
But so point is,
that's cringe. That's cringe, right?
It might take a bit longer for it to catch up if it does. But yeah, like I was like actually talking to some friends earlier. I do think having like a personal brand of your own hopefully is one of the last things that AI could potentially take over. Yeah. Unless we get a Skynet situation, which case it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So you know what's crazy is that you three are ex-Google, and the next person on the stream is also ex-Google. But he's the most recent ex-Google. He quit 2 weeks ago. So Kevin, yeah, for sure.
I was so happy when I heard Kevin quit.
Yeah. I was like, yes.
I was like, yo, Kevin, quit your job.
And now I see him on Twitter all the time, and I'm like, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Lulu. What's up, Lou? Yeah, you tell him, Lulu. You tell him. You tell him. Yeah, I mean, it's so good. It's so good. So like, okay. So what was it like? We'll just pass it on. What was it like? Your first day as an ex-Googler? Didn't you like go to London or something? You had like a whole like thing, right?
Oh my God, I did. Here. Oh, I mean, my whole thing was very specific. Well, because you asked about it. It was on Jubilee, which I didn't realize it was. Lulu, oh, she's gonna join us. That's so cute. I was actually trying to convince her. Anyway, it was my dream to sleep at the Google office, which sounds so corporate of me. But I thought it would be fun to do it because I liked visiting all of the worldwide Google offices. And because I was in London, I was like, oh my God, on my last day, I want to sleep at the Google office. And I actually did it like literally on my last day, and I lost corporate access like quite literally on my last day while I was sleeping there. So in the morning, when I woke up and I tried going to the bathroom, I like couldn't go to the bathroom. I was like, oh, okay. You're like, damn, this is real. Yeah, this is real. I quit my job. I took a nap in the London Google office, and like I literally can't access the bathroom. And the security was so chill. They were like loving me, and they just let me go to the bathroom. And they were like, this is a normal thing. Like Google employees always sleep in the nap pods at the bathrooms on a like Saturday night. This is a normal thing. Yeah. And they were okay with it. And we were vibing. And I made friends with all the people that were going to the Google office at 6 a.m. On a Sunday? On a either Saturday or Sunday morning. It was a weekend morning. I can't remember which one, but it was a weekend morning where like there were people there, and I quite literally hadn't slept because I was just vibing on my last day of being at Google. And yeah, it was quite a vibe. I enjoyed it. I can't remember what the question was, but I did sleep. What was your last day? Yeah, that was my last day. Yeah, my last day at the Google office was me sleeping in the nap pods of the London office. I'm in the Canadian office, so like it had nothing to do with me, but somehow you get access to all of the offices until it's your last day. Yeah. And I really wanted to celebrate in the London office because I was already going to Europe, and it was Jubilee because the Queen was having her like 50th the Queen, the reign of the Queen or whatever, right? Yeah, and I was so lucky because they're like the whole Google office was decorated as the Queen right before she died, which was really cool. And I had all of these really cool Google people right before the night of me like taking a nap at the Google office and waking up to not having access. It was a vibe. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, mine was like so much
Like,
less.
so much less.
No, absolutely.
So much less.
You didn't take like an international flight, like or...
You didn't take an international nap?
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, I failed you. Yeah. No, actually, I left Google on a Friday, and I started Airbnb 3 days later.
Dude, that's a grind, dude. That's a grind. You're like, I don't take any gaps at all.
No,
Right?
she doesn't know what vacation
yeah,
is.
she's like, dude,
it's not in her vocabulary.
Yeah, no, not at all. Right?
I'm very American.
Yeah.
So funny. What about you, Merve?
My last day?
Yeah, your last day at Google.
Oh,
yes.
actually, it was the I was invited for a British consulate for a cocktail, some kind of an event, and then that day we learned that Queen died.
No way!
It was that day.
So it was like right after me.
Probably.
That's
we probably
crazy.
quit at the same day. So
Yeah.
basically it was that day. I was there, Aston Martin, like all these sponsors, like a lot of cars. Like it was a crazy event in Istanbul. I was there. And then suddenly like everybody was dancing at the British consulate, like the place, like
Yeah.
And then they said that Queen died, and then we're like, what? Like, it was like that basically. My last day was a bit, interesting. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild. I didn't realize that y'all were so connected by like the death of the Queen. Like, I mean,
I'm surprised. We're patriotic.
patriotic. Like,
Yeah,
I don't like the monarch.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's what we're connected
That's
with.
amazing. Okay. So that's great. So, okay. I think another theme that's been coming up is like kind of culture differences between different places. I have two questions for all of you. Like, so one is, what is the best part and what is the worst part of living in San Francisco?
Okay. I don't live here yet,
Yeah.
so I can't really fully answer this question.
Yeah.
But I have been trying to make a base here, and I have been here more than anywhere else in the last year. So I love San Francisco. The best part is being around so many talented, ambitious, smart humans. Like the average IQ here is insane. All of the people I meet here are all on the same wavelength, and they're all trying to build really cool shit, especially with AI, and like they're trying to make an impact in the world, which I really appreciate. And that is definitely the best part. Like I love everybody I meet here, and every time I leave, I really miss it here. And the worst part, I would say, is just I don't know. Do I have to say the worst part?
You do. Sorry.
It's just like a little autistic sometimes. And I appreciate that most of the time.
But it's a lot.
Sometimes I'm like, you know what? Some sort of emotional intelligence would be nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I love
That's my answer.
Okay, I will follow that.
Go ahead.
So for context, I also don't live in San Francisco proper. I live an hour south of San Francisco. So again,
Bay Area is close
enough,
though.
I would echo what Delia said. I think the best part is definitely the people. Like there's so many nice people. All my friends, most of my friends are in the Bay. There's like always things to do, people to learn from, events to go to, and it's like I'm not a big city person, to be honest. They all know this. I love suburbs. I grew up in a suburb. I want to stay and live in suburbs my entire life. But as cities go, like I really love SF, and it is a city I would definitely consider living in one day, more so than maybe any other city except for like Chicago or Boston, I would say. Worst part, I think it's like kind of flipped. Like because there's so much to do, I feel like I sometimes get really distracted when I spend a lot of time in the city. So part of the reason why I live in South Bay. So if I really need to like focus and not be distracted, I have like a space where I won't go to events, and like it's like, it takes a while to go from South Bay to San Francisco. Oh yeah. So I think events are for me a double-edged sword because they're really fun. You learn stuff, you meet great people, but also they can be distracting.
Oh, very distracting. So distracting. I mean, I feel like when you're in a season of no, dude, it's so hard because then you're just like you literally die of FOMO because you're just like, dude, I can't, but I know. Then it's just like I see everyone having a good time, and I'm like, but I'm building right now, and I'm sad, but I also know that I'm just like I understand the true meaning of sacrifice. Not going to events. That's what it is, right? Amazing. What about you? Got it.
The good part is, everybody's building. Like I tried to live in LA and it didn't work out. I gave a shot like 6 months. Mm-hmm. And then everybody was like, oh, it's mental health. Let's just go for a yoga, some Pilates. I'm like, I love it, but I need to build something.
Yeah, you're like,
so basically,
we're not changing the world with Pilates.
I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Have you done Pilates, Zach? Okay.
Can AI replace Pilates?
Can AI replace
Pilates? I hope so.
Not yet.
Not yet. That's so
it was
good.
too much mental health, well-being. I mean, we need to go crazy. We need to build things. We don't have to be super work-life balance. We need to build things. And this is the place. This is the best place to build. So that's why I love San Francisco. I really love it. I don't know, in the future, maybe my friends are like, you might be a mayor or something. You are promoting it a lot. I'm like, why not?
Okay.
Why not?
Mayor of Istanbul.
I think it's a good idea, right? Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I will definitely want to invest in the city because everybody is building new stuff. And they're building cool things, the latest things. I mean, even if you're just, living here, you can just learn about the latest tech products, everything super fast. You don't even just check the TechCrunch. You just need to go to the closest blue bottle and you can just learn it on the line. Like, it's so easy. So basically, I love the city. San Francisco is the best if you are in tech.
I love it because it's like one of the things I love is that like over the last 12 hours, people have had so many different opinions. Like, because literally the live before this was with Sajjad, and he's like, I hate San Francisco. I hate it so much.
Okay, I'm sorry. I love it. Area. Sajjad, I love you. But, you don't know what's good. Oh, sorry.
It's all good.
I saw him 2 days ago.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, for sure. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's wild, right?
San Francisco's where the good shit is.
Yeah, it's where the dreamers are. It's where things are happening, 100%. Right? Where things are all things. What's up, Lulu? What? You freaking out?
No, I will admit that the cost of living is
Oh, I know what it is. Can you hold this? I know what it is. I know why she's.
Wait, she wants attention.
No, she hasn't had any food.
Okay, we gotta feed Lulu. This is very important. Lulu, what are you doing, Sylvie? All right. Lulu is the most important guest of our live stream here, and she needs food right now. Yeah. And to be honest, all of us girls here are hangry, but you can't tell as much as you can with food.
Actually, now I think of it, all I've had today has been a coffee or a matcha.
You haven't eaten today?
I don't usually eat breakfast or lunch. And
oh my!
I'll eat dinner after this.
Yeah, you're like a one meal a day girly.
No, you know what the problem is? Okay, on the topic of us all being ex-Googler, Maddie here only eats free food. You get jaded with the Google free food, and she will not eat food unless it's free. And I'm not joking. The first time I ever met her, I came to her house and she didn't have towels for me at all because she only showers at the Google gym. And then now she has towels from Google to use for me, which is very sweet.
I have a guest house specifically for you.
It's very sweet. It's very
now
sweet.
I only shower at the gym that I have a subscription to.
Still jaded by Google. So don't work for a big tech company because you will be jaded by free food and free towels.
Wait, I'm not jaded by the food. I like the food.
But you haven't eaten all day.
Yeah.
Well, this is me.
Just pay $30 for a meal.
You're traumatized.
Just
by
pay for food.
Airbnb pays you enough.
Airbnb pays you more than Google. Just buy food.
I do buy food. I buy my own snacks now. I buy food. I sometimes
do not buy food.
I don't buy food.
When was the last time you purchased groceries?
2 weeks after I joined Airbnb, then I never. So I meal prepped.
So that was
okay.
3.5
She's like, I
months
meal
ago.
prepped
For
once.
the last time
ago.
she has purchased food was 3.5 months ago.
I meal prepped.
This is a warning.
It's almost 2024.
Okay, I meal prepped for like a couple of weeks. And then what happened was I got a lot of free food from, first of all, my mom was super happy, keep on sending me food. She was once like, you know, when I left Google, it was right after the avian flu started. So eggs were like $10 a dozen. So I complained to her and then she gave me 24 eggs. Yeah. So I cooked them all meal prep. So that, and in terms of the community, my friends still keep on inviting me back sometimes to, you know, different corp offices. So thank you, friends. Please keep on inviting me. And
she'll starve
you
otherwise.
Don't need real food. You don't need real food when you have real friends. That's the motto here.
But yeah, when I was at Google, I almost all my meals at Google.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Because I would stay for dinner and board games and hang out with friends.
I was the same way. At Meta, I worked 9 to 9. I worked 9 to 9 at Meta, and I was like breakfast, lunch, dinner, boom. That's how they get you. Yeah, for sure. It's awful. Yeah, for sure.
My friends are on campus. They're so nice.
Yeah, like maybe you know, being a Googler, you need to have one other dimension to your personality, and you might be able to make friends outside of Google.
Well, I make board game friends, but they're mostly friends of friends of friends of Googlers. Yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing. That's a bubble inside of a bubble right there. That's good.
And running, but most of my running friends are Googlers.
See, that's what I'm saying. They're really focused on content, on data engineering, or enjoying. Yeah, I love that. No, it's exactly what we need right now. That's like, you got to understand, like, I've been giving people just like pure, just salty value for 11 hours. So we need a little more of a sweet live, you know, gotta mix it up. Yes. I've been, I mean, especially like when the Red Bull kicks in, I'm just like, you know, it's like, it's too much.
You see that Red Bull?
You're not sponsored by Red Bull.
No, I'm not.
Do the pre-workout instead.
Pre-workout would be crazy. Yeah. I mean, we're only at halftime right now, so I got another 12 hours. So yeah, that might happen. That might happen. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Forbidden pre-workout.
Yeah. Is that stuff good? Does that stuff have like 400 milligrams of caffeine?
Oh, it's the meme where it's like if you. Oh, sorry. I was referencing the meme where it's like if you don't have pre-workout, but you really need to get the gains, you just like pull up texts from your ex, and you're like, okay, I'm good to go.
Oh, I can do that too. That's pretty good. I can just rage on the stream, dude. That's like, I mean, they you know, people are like, how unhinged is this stream gonna get? And like, I think that we're giving them a little bit of a taste right now, because like, you know, like literally 45 minutes ago, I was like, so Sajad, like, how can we, you know, optimize our software engineering careers? And like,
okay, I got it. What we do is we basically record this and then we make a graph of data, right? Zach's sanity as the time goes on in the stream.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
That's such a good idea. No, honestly, after 12 hours, he'd be fucked up.
Yeah. Well, this is 12 hours. This is 12 hours right now. I started at 9 a.m.
Yeah. We are what fucks him up. I think we should take pride in that.
That's good. That's good.
I would take pride in that.
Yeah, you're great. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like, I mean, I'm you should take pride in that. That is a powerful like position to be in.
That's right.
I'm sure Zach regrets inviting us on this.
No, I don't. I can tell that like I've been so like locked in, and now I'm like my eyes are like so happy right now because I've just been looking at that screen. Yeah, right. Yeah. Like it's like it's actually like, humans are real, you know.
It's just figments of your imagination. Right? Chat, tell him.
Oh yeah, right. This is not even real. Like I'm just like tripping balls right now. I'm so tired.
We're actually all hallucinations. Oh my god, my favorite answer today was because you guys were talking earlier about like UBI and the future of like what like the purpose of humans is. And I was thinking about like we literally went to the Anthropic conference today, and I got to talk to Dario, the CEO, and then he was talking about like some reporter asked about like hallucinations in AI, and he was like, oh yeah, I don't know any humans that hallucinate, and like I don't know any politicians that make shit up, and I don't know any like news people that. And I think this was off the record, but it was just so.
That's so good. That's so spicy.
Like, that was the spiciest response ever. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna answer that from now on when people talk about hallucinations.
Yeah, you're like I will defend ChatGPT here, right?
I don't know any humans that hallucinate. I don't know anyone that makes shit up. Like, yeah, nobody.
No, that never happens.
Shit. Like nobody makes.
Hold up, you know what's so crazy about ChatGPT that I realized recently is that like April Fools is awful because like if you put like where does Zach Wilson live, right? It says I live in Thailand because that was my April Fools. Was that I said, hey guys, I'm moving to Thailand permanently.
But you bought a place in Thailand for a year.
I mean, I have a year. Yeah, I do have a year. That counts. I do live there, I guess. I do live there. I kind of live there. I can go back to Pattaya anytime. Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's a terrible place.
It's a terrible one.
I went there for Christmas once. It was the worst decision I've ever made.
Yeah. Ooh.
Sorry, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
no, it was the sluttiest Christmas I've ever
seen. It is. Pattaya is very slutty.
Why would you go to Pattaya for any kind of vacation? I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
Nobody informed me before I went. You were probably informed.
I was very informed. It was a very intentional decision for me.
Okay, well, so you technically live in Thailand.
Yes.
Yeah, but I guess so do I.
I can receive mail, right? Yeah.
I can receive mail in Thailand.
Yeah, I think that's the line in
I
sand.
can receive mail in Chiang Mai, which is
that's way less slutty. Yeah.
Like, it's acceptable.
It is. Yeah. No. Yeah. I get you. Pattaya. I think Pattaya is like even worse than like living in Vegas. It's like.
No, Vegas is acceptable.
Vegas is acceptable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tiffany and Clement live in Vegas. Like a lot of my good friends or
yeah, it's okay. Okay, what's the Pattaya equivalent in America then? Is it like New Orleans?
No, I went to New Orleans. I went to New Orleans for what's that thing that they do?
Mardi Gras.
Went for Mardi Gras, and I was thinking, oh wow, these people don't have families, and that explains a lot. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? This is less ratchet than I thought. Like, I thought it was actually really cool and a really beautiful place, and they have great architecture and great food and great music. Okay. And it's a vibe.
Amazing.
Yeah. It'd be cooler if we like promoted family
inclusiveness, like yeah, okay. Yeah. You're like if Mardi Gras was more about like the nuclear family,
exactly,
that would be the
we should make Mardi Gras about the nuclear family, then I would be more on board.
Oh, so good. So good.
No, but honestly, I don't think there's no Pattaya equivalent in America because that would be very unacceptable.
I mean, Elko is, home to the biggest brothel in the entire US.
Is that in Utah?
It's in Nevada.
It's in Nevada.
The solar eclipse was there last year, I think.
Yeah.
I went not for the brothel, but for the solar eclipse.
You can do 2 for 1, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
It's like 3.5 hours from where I used to live in Utah. Okay. Like, don't ask why I know that, but.
Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't promote that.
No, you wouldn't promote that. Yeah, Elko. So. Yeah, Elko is not. I mean, Elko is also very boring though. Pattaya is like. I agree. I think there might not be an American equivalent. Like.
No.
Yeah, it's freaking wild, dude. We got to get Kevin on. So Kevin's gonna join here in 2 minutes, but we also need to swap the streams because this stream only has 3 minutes of life left in it. So, but you guys should stay and at least welcome Kevin to the party. All right? Because like.
I thought he was just on.
What?
Virtually, so just
yeah, Kevin Naughton is in New York or something, right?
No, but was he not just on?
No. Kevin joins in 2 minutes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then we can have 4 ex-Googlers on the stream.
We're gonna stay on.
We can be like
yeah. We gotta get you guys because you guys were 30 minutes late. All right.
Oh my god.
I was on time.
Yeah, you were on time.
Early.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you get to do overtime, Maddie. All right. You're not compensated.
Zach
but
is on 24 hours. I can do.
Yes, let's go. Yeah, you can do an
minutes.
extra 15 minutes.
Amazing. I'm gonna bill you my hourly rate.
Yeah, 1 second, y'all. Okay. Okay. I gotta give them the last letter of the coupon code is E. I'm like the Count from Sesame Street, All right, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Now, okay. Oh, where's this mic? Okay. Yo, everyone. So we got to end this stream. We're going to be coming back in literally like 1 minute because we need to kill the stream because we only get 4 hours at a time here. But we will be back here in just a minute. Thank you very much.